What is going on, everybody? It is episode 275 of Pop Culture Crisis. Hollywood is so woke, guys. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, crisis actors. It's Mary. Brett's right. Hollywood is just so freaking woke.
So woke, dude.
And Elliot Page is now the super them. That no possibilities are off the table. We have a guest in studio today. Introduce yourself, please.
How dare you refer to me as a guy, Brett? Assuming my gender, even though that would be correct. I am Carter Banks. Make music here at Timcast.
That you do.
Among other things, and I'm happy to be joining you guys today on another episode of Pop Culture Crisis.
Thanks for being here to talk about how woke Hollywood has gotten.
For the people,
am I right, guys? It's
You're
like
right.
so freaking woke.
For the people that don't understand, this is like we're literally like we're those people that are like in the middle of an inside joke, and everyone's like, "What the hell is going on right now?"
I've just been psychotically whining about how woke Hollywood is. Acting like I'm in the corner of an insane asylum all day. So
well, actually, we're making fun of people who talk about how woke Hollywood is at the same time while talking about how woke Hollywood is. Yes, it's the word, not so much as the rest of it, right? So we have two stories right off the bat from DC, guys. One is true, one is not true. We will let you figure out which one by the time we get there. Elliot Page may or may not be the new Person of Steel for DC Studios. No, we'll talk about it. Also, Pregnant Joker. The world is beyond parody right now. DC is beyond parody. Cardi B wants to talk to you about inflation. And Doja Cat is the newest member of the Illuminati. And Gabrielle Union wants to cheat like a man whore, but not be a man. She wants to be a woman whore. And that's okay. So we're going to talk about all of that today.
We're just starting off so strong today.
We are. We're just going for it.
Excited.
All right. So now that we're all excited, I will ask you both. Mary, are we ready?
Couldn't be more ready.
Carter, are we ready?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to start right off the bat, guys. So this is what I want to talk about. We are in a world now, especially in the entertainment sphere, that is beyond parody, especially DC. The first story here is about Elliot Page getting supposedly cast as the new Man of Steel. And the second story is about the Joker being pregnant. I think you guys already know which one is the real story, but we will start with Elliot Page.
Yes.
So
the same person who posted this, by the way, is literally Joe Schmo32 on Twitter.
Basically.
We reference him so often, but it turns out he actually exists, and he is the exclusive inside source. He said, sources within Warner Brothers revealed that James Gunn is considering Elliot Page to replace Henry Cavill as Superman, and then he tagged the quartering and Nerdrotic because, of course.
It was like the very first clue you should have had that this was the not true story was like the tagging of the quartering and Nerdrotic, I think. The best part about this is like if you go about 5 tweets down on the thread, he says, I basically did this so that I could get somebody from Warner Media to acknowledge that this isn't a real story. But here's the problem. We are in a world now where this isn't something that is totally outside the realm of possibility.
More specifically, so much has been up in the air about DC in general that we just don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
Like there are theories and rumors more than there are confirmed stories at this point. We began our talks about DC thinking that Henry Cavill was going to have a sequel for Superman, and now he's out.
The other part about this is like I use this like I am the fake news today by including this story as our like main topic. But the other thing here is that Ezra Miller is basically said to be, they're going to continue with him. They're going to leave Ezra Miller.
Because they claim he is doing the proper mental health and therapy work to get back to a functional place. And not only is The Flash, getting released earlier than expected.
Yep.
It's also possible that he will be in future projects, even though Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa even will not be.
Well, Momoa may come back as Lobo.
And this is a soft reset of DC.
The biggest mistake they could have possibly made was doing a soft. It was not like if you're going to get rid of Henry Cavill, then reboot the whole thing. If you're going to get rid of the most popular...
What kind of soft reset gets rid of literally every...
Well, no, they don't because they keep
flagship character.
They keep the Suicide Squad characters because James Gunn created those.
Baby.
Yeah, because that. And technically Margot Robbie gets lumped in there, even though she was part of the first Suicide Squad, not the second one. I loved that somebody said Super Juno. So,
well, people are saying like, the super them or gender neutral Person of Steel is currently in the works, out in 2024, and will be directed by none other than Elizabeth Banks. Are you getting excited yet?
No.
Are you freaking pumped for this?
Diablo Cody has to direct.
You know what else I saw? I saw people saying like this movie would. I mean, they took it too seriously.
Yes, they took it way too seriously.
But they were like, this movie would bomb, and honestly, it wouldn't even have anything to do with the fact that Elliot Page is trans. I'm sorry. Can we just like level with each other right now? It would have everything to do with the fact that Elliot Page is trans if this movie bombed.
But
and that's fine. Because people are done with the wokeness
I mean, that's
Hollywood.
Not even a man. That's a boy, if anything, right?
The other thing here is like, does this not kind of prove the malleability of like reality on the internet? That you read this and you're like, I buy it.
I had no idea it was fake.
Trust me, bro, or the Babylon Bee.
Yeah, like you could believe it. Because it's not that far off the realm of where things are going in Hollywood.
Someone said it's about time we had manlit Superman, and I was like, yes, representation for our short kings out there. Yes. Let's effing go.
Francisco Sanchez Jr. says Margot Robbie was part of the second Suicide Squad movie. Yes, but I'm just saying that she was also part of the first one, so she gets kind of grandfathered in, but they kept her for the second one. She was actually not even my favorite part of the second Suicide Squad movie, and I don't have a problem with Peacemaker. I recommend everyone go watch the second Suicide Squad movie and Peacemaker. But does it worry you that something like this can get made and people are like in the comments, like some people were like, is this, please tell me this is parody, please tell me that this is fake. Like that's actually kind of a good sign that even some people were like, please tell me that this isn't true, this doesn't sound real, this sounds fake. It at least triggers something in the brain that this doesn't seem quite right. Like, but at the same time, I made a half joking response. I said I could buy them doing Elliot Page as the Flash.
Yeah, I mean, people have been talking and joking about Elliot Page as the Flash for a while now, before this parody tweet ever came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm at least glad that some things are considered too far.
Yeah.
Still, if this did happen, who would take it seriously? Well, I don't think people were even happy with the idea of Aaron Taylor Johnson as James Bond, let alone.
That was good. Hit the mic.
Thank you. Thank you for the money.
Oh, thank you.
Let alone this idea. But like, if we can psyop this all the way to James Gunn and then somehow convince him that this would work out, then we might be able to bankrupt DC.
Well, like, look, as somebody who loves DC, and I know, Caper2X will hate to hear how I don't want them to fail. But the funny thing is 5 years ago, Carter, if you can imagine something worse than like this, is like Marvel Comics was worse at one point, and DC was like hold my beer and decided to make themselves like infinitely worse. Mm-hmm. And it trickles down, and the movies don't get it quite as bad as the comics, but the movies are still bad. Look at this picture of it's a very believable picture.
Oh my God.
Of Elliot Page as the Man of Steel.
They said, what if Elliot Page identifies as a muscular 6'3" man? Then she would deserve the role, right?
Does.
But is this any more ridiculous than Nicolas Cage once being asked to play Superman in the 2006 Superman Returns? He was going
not
to be,
as egregious.
It's a little
of a
less
decision.
ridiculous.
Like, that's what they should do. They should do a multiverse story and have Nicolas Cage make an appearance as Superman.
I'd actually buy that.
Yeah, I looked up Elliot Page's height. It's 5 feet and a half. We're not even at 5'1".
Not even
5 feet and a half. Shorter than me.
Has Elliot Page seen any of this stuff? And if so,
is there a response?
Yeah.
Well, she is in Umbrella Academy, and in order to appease the woke mob, they transitioned her female character into a male character, which was not part of Gerard Way's source material.
Gerard Way,
but it seems like this industry is willing to placate people who prioritize their identity in any way possible. It's just for virtue signaling. It's never about actual compassion.
It's funny because it used to be like one of these things that Kellen mentioned yesterday. We were talking about shows where they've had these characters that aren't super bad. Like there was a trans character in Billions, wasn't bad. Like you can do it. It's fine. It's just when you do it in this space, when you do it in the space of superheroes, it's very clearly part of an agenda. But I love the guy right here, the guy who tweeted this goes, "The Babylon Bee, please hire me." Like he's good. And the Babylon Bee is expert.
This is his resume.
Is expert with the memes. So it's
one person replied, "Great bait, mate. I rate 8 out of 8. Another person said, "If this is true, I will show my arse in Selfridges." That was definitely a British Twitter user.
We have definitely come to a point now where it's like, I know there's going to be, like, I can already picture the comments on this video. Like when we cut this up and we make this a segment, they're going to be like, "This is clearly not real. And you guys totally got hacked."
Guys, this is a fake news show. What do you expect at this point? This is what we peddle in. Okay. But I kind of hope that this is true or ends up being true for all the wrong reasons. Because I am a girl and I like drama. And I just imagine the controversy around a movie like this. People are already so enraged on behalf of Henry Cavill getting ousted from this role. And then, if you know the lore about what happened with him in The Witcher... Yep. And then now he's not getting James Bond. Yep. Unlikely that he will get James Bond. This would not fly. This would not go very well for them. I don't think they would be happy.
The comment section is absolutely lit right now. Like they're not being kind to
Her
Elliot
kryptonite is lack of medication.
Someone said something really funny. I think it was Johnny Derp.
Trauma over drama.
Remy5405 says no YouTube live notice, must not like the content. Yeah, very likely.
Also, somebody named Ellen in the chat said, "Wow, another trashy Ellen."
Oh man, that's
we were actually just mentioning Ellen DeGeneres and what a horrible person she is behind the scenes.
So you go down the comments, it's just like why, ha 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 ha. I just love it because when I first read it, I got sent this story last night, and I was like, I read it, and I'm like, that doesn't seem real, but at the same time, what the hell?
Can we really put it past them?
Can we really put it past
anymore?
them?
And we even saw like that trans actor from the MCU. I forget which character they played, but they were talking about how there isn't enough representation for trans and gay characters in the MCU and superhero movies in general.
Yeah.
And I mean, now I guess this is the way to go about it. Just bastardize a familiar character that people love.
I think we should just have a daily fake news segment.
Can't they make a new one?
We already do that. It's all of our segments. I'm kidding. I am kidding.
But just remember, guys, not only is Ezra Miller likely going to remain in that role, it was really funny when I was reading this about how they're getting rid of Gal Gadot, and it's just... it's like they want to get rid of anyone that anyone actually likes. Like,
someone mentioned Chris Evans. I think they mean for Superman.
It's also funny because I think about this. Like, what will end up happening, guys? If the Flash movie does really, really well, and they leave Ezra in there, it will be kind of secondhand proof that we are in our own little, very, very targeted information bubble. Meaning that the average person doesn't know this is going on. The average person doesn't care. They don't. Let's face it.
But if this went ahead,
yeah.
Incredibly unlikely, but if it did, I think that some people would be like, okay, I'm off of this bandwagon. Like, I'm done. I think it would be like a straw that breaks a camel's back for a lot of people, because really what it's about is like, are you the truest believer in the lie that we're peddling right now? And some people just can't hack it.
Instead of Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One in Doctor Strange, they can get Tilda Swinton to play Lex Luthor. Just and then we'll get and then Henry Cavill can be hired to play Lois Lane. There,
perfect.
We'll do that. We'll just have
because nothing means anything anymore.
No, it's just we're beyond parody. Nothing means anything anymore. Nothing matters. You know how I know this, guys? Look. Because if you think DC entertainment films are bad, somebody pointed this out yesterday. It is almost such low-hanging fruit. It's almost so pointless to talk about because it's just like, of course. But we're going to talk about it anyway. The Joker in the comics, remember this is the comics, not the movies, is pregnant.
Yes.
This is a secondary story. This is I don't know if it technically counts as canon. It's from The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 4. I don't like talking about the comics that often because, one, they go out of their way to make stuff like this that will piss people off and get people to talk about it, but it doesn't
anything that will
drive
get the
sales.
strongest reaction.
Yes, and
Look,
I just don't care
men
anymore.
can get pregnant. It's 2023.
Yep.
Stop being such an ignorant, intolerant bigot.
Have you guys seen the meme? It's the train, and it says it's a good thing that religion is being removed from schools. We'll all be so much more rational and scientifically driven as long as we get rid of religion from schools. And it shows the train running into something. It says men can get pregnant.
You know what? A lot of people were tweeting in defense of this, actually, and saying that those reacting to it negatively are ignorant of the spirit of these comics.
Of course.
So the context for this is that this comic series has a mini story in it in each issue.
Yeah, it's a secondary story.
Yeah, that is usually absurd, and it's like in this one, it's a dream sequence where Zatanna uses magic to like play this prank on the Joker. He gets pregnant. He then gives birth to a mud monster child who transforms into a child version of himself, and then he adopts this child as a son.
Has anybody here ever seen the movie Junior?
I
Arnie?
don't know.
Somebody in the chat, I would love to see.
We have seen Juno, though.
I would love to see. Junior is a movie where Arnie gets pregnant as a guy back in the 90s. Somebody should Photoshop the Joker's face onto the cover of the movie. I guarantee you've seen the cover. It's like he's looking sideways and you see it's done on purpose to show his big pregnant belly.
This definitely is not a new concept.
No. But here's the thing. Back in the day when a story like this would have been done, it would have been done from a creative-minded person who just wanted to explore a unique idea and wanted to see the bounds of where their creativity could take them. No one in their right mind believes that that's why something like this is being made now.
I think that a lot of the defensive responses to this were saying that this is all from like reactionary people in nerd culture who are like far overreacting, and they're like doing performative fake outrage about this comic issue. But I don't think it's even...
I'm not even angry.
The contextualized comic that they're pointing out. Yeah. It's just like everything feels so surreal in like the worst possible way right now. Nothing is recognizable as what it used to be, it feels. And
which is done on purpose.
That's like making people who pay attention to culture war issues feel insane. And yeah, it's fair to point out maybe you haven't read the comic, you don't know the context, and there are reasons why this is included in it, but that doesn't mean that everyone has to enjoy it. Yeah. And they're allowed to criticize it.
And here's the thing,
for being openly ridiculous.
The best thing that you can do is not play the game. Don't let this annoy you. Don't let this make you angry. In fact, what I like about this is it's so ridiculous that it doesn't upset me. Like, my biggest question for this topic was, do we even bother covering it? Because it just seems like it's so very clearly done to get videos like this made. But at the same time, I have fun talking about it. Like, at the very least, I get to be like, man, I can't wait to make Carter look at this article.
I'm just looking at him like, why does he have lipstick on? That's my biggest concern. It's like the pregnancy is fine, I guess.
Well, it's the Joker. It's the Joker. He's
fruity.
I have more questions than I really want.
But my favorite was this one. It says how it begins and it shows Superman lifting a car, and this is how it ends, and it's like men can get pregnant.
Oh,
it's
man.
like he's getting
and then cue even more tweets about like hashtag fire James Gunn. What are you doing to DC Comics?
This has nothing to do with James Gunn.
But they're also saying like, why is there a push to fire or reprimand James Gunn about what he's doing with the film franchise? Yeah. When there are all of these people working at DC Comics and they're bastardizing comic book heroes and villains just as much or more. If that's what you consider this to be, and not just a one-off ridiculous joke.
And Ethan Van Sciver's tweet here is very interesting to me because it says DC Comics is getting weirder and weirder, allowing more perverts and fetishists to make grotesque filth out of their classic characters. Fellows, Batman is the last sellable comics franchise. I mean, I don't know if he means just at DC. I think Spider-Man still does very, very well. Normal readers might not enjoy Atomic Skull giving Joker a prenatal pelvic exam.
It does feel a little bit weird, medical fetishy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, I could believe a story like this existing a long time ago, and it would have felt far less pointed and far less devious because it would have been done from a place of curiosity.
Not being internet poison.
Yes, not being done for take that, you incels. This is done for take that, you incels.
Especially because they loved the 2019 Joker, or at least people who were unfairly labeled incels liked the 2019 Joker and were criticized to the end of the earth for that.
Yep.
And also, there was like so much preempted journalist fear-mongering about whether there would be violent acts committed because of this movie.
So what they could do
now
instead...
Now they just have to ruin the character for them.
So what they should just do instead is make trans Wonder Woman and then have Batman be the one who got Joker pregnant.
So true.
Someone
even replied, if you hate this, you hate DC Comics. Read Marvel if you want soap opera stories.
It's funny too because Batman really is the last thing DC has going for them. Like that's why there's 9,000 different. If you they do 1,000 different versions. There's Detective Comics. There's the Batman original timeline. There's a lot. They market a lot out of Batman, and Batman's really the only superhero from them that I really see a lot of merch for. Other than I see some Wonder Woman stuff for girls, but in general, Superman shirts and some Batman merch are the only stuff that they sell. But Superman comics don't sell as well as Batman comics. So it's you're getting too dangerously close to your moneymaker with this story to do it, even though it's not a Batman story that this is in.
Well, and then I see all of these comic illustrators and writers complaining that they are underpaid and exploited and their page rates are abysmal when this is the crap that they are putting out there. I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for you.
Yep.
You, this is not something with organic support. It seems like everyone almost unanimously is hating this. And if you hate this, it's not indicating that you hate DC Comics as a whole. This is an exception
because they're so hit and miss with all their media. I recently started rewatching the Deathstroke angle from season 2 of Titans, and it's it can be so good sometimes, and there's so much material there that is so good, so laudable, and you're just really? I guess the idea could be maybe think of it like this, to find the edges, to really get to some great stories, sometimes somebody has to write a really truly bad story. But then the idea here is intent, right? Was this written with the intent of finding something really, really great? I don't believe so.
I think it was to get a strong reaction mainly from people on the internet.
Jacob Edler says Deathstroke was my nickname in high school.
He also said DC on paper, Marvel on screen. I wanted to point out that also people say DC has some kind of leg up or edge on Marvel with their films because they are less of a bubblegum, feel-good, family-friendly
That's not a leg
vibe.
Up. I haven't found that to be a leg up. Though there was a great infographic that I saw the other day that proved that all it was the box office scores for all of the films in which Zack Snyder was involved in, meaning he didn't direct Wonder Woman, but he had partial credit for the writing, right? So between Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, the Justice League, and then they referenced Wonder Woman, the Justice League numbers on HBO Max, all did way better than all of the non-Snyder stuff like Shazam, even though I loved Shazam and all those movies. So I don't think that that's where we're going. I think we're going to a more homogenous tone that will be more like Marvel by the time. It'll be more like edgy Marvel by the time James Gunn is done with it.
Edgy Marvel.
That's
all he's only capable of one
tone.
Though
I think he does it well. It is what it is. But this is just one of those things where it's did you even feel when somebody sent this to me yesterday, somebody in the chat was are you guys going to talk about Pregnant Joker? That one I knew couldn't be fake.
I think people are rightly furious about the absolute state of DC right now. Especially, I've seen backlash in regards to Ezra Miller being completely safe and sound, while much more popular and well-liked actors and actresses playing flagship characters are getting booted, essentially, even though James Gunn is like using weasel words to rebut that point. They're getting booted. It doesn't seem fair, and it doesn't seem to make sense even from a business perspective.
Also, Carter, can either of you guys think of another industry that purposely antagonizes people in an effort to try and draw publicity?
I mean, we just saw Bad Bunny like throw his own fans' personal property into a fountain.
Yeah, but that wasn't like in the song. Like, there wasn't like a song about throwing a
it's
fan's
just a
phone in the
general
fountain.
like feeling of animosity between entertainers and fans right now.
It's a certain like it's
but
like both
their audience though.
Yeah.
Like the whole audience.
It does feel like that sometimes.
There was a video of Bad Bunny through like a fan came up behind him and like put their phone in his face and was like trying to record him and like took the phone and threw it in the fountain.
I've done that too.
And my favorite part was like the first comment was like the phone is like phones these days are waterproof. It's fine.
It's true.
Like I was like I don't think
not
that's,
all of them.
I was like but that's not really the point. Like it's like somebody running into your car and saying your car has airbags. It's fine.
It's got insurance.
It's got but that's like a story. I mean, that's something they do, right? They're like that's a theme of like movies with heists. They're like, it's fine. They've got insurance, and like you root for those guys, like the gentleman criminal who's not that bad because they have their own code or something like that. I don't think Bad Bunny has a code. I don't think Bad Bunny took the phone and threw it in the fountain and thought, well, that phone's waterproof.
Maybe he has to throw phones into fountains, but it's only he does it to the people that come up to him and try and video themselves with him. That's his code.
Would you do the same?
Depends on what kind of phone it was.
Golden Gaming says pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is an interesting example there because pro wrestling is one of the weird things where on Twitter, because do you know what kayfabe is? Kayfabe is like...
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know what it is.
That's basically the reference to like them being in character, right? So back in the day, kayfabe was like when you're done being Stone Cold Steve Austin at the arena, you're still Stone Cold Steve Austin at the airport. You don't break character when you travel.
Does he get paid for that?
Well, I mean, they're all salaried employees, so the idea here is that you're just always in character. It comes from being the carny roots of wrestling, being that the good guys were never seen with the bad guys off screen. So if Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock are feuding, they're not hanging out together on the road.
Right.
But kayfabe obviously died because of the internet. I mean, because of social media and the internet.
Yeah.
But now because of Twitter, there's like a weird like pseudo kayfabe where you can't really tell if they're playing a character all the time or if they're just being who they are.
We'll get into that with Doja Cat later.
Because you see so much of them that their personality becomes part of the other character.
Yeah, so it's like, and they used to talk about how like the best character you can be is like an elevated version of yourself.
Oh my god,
because it's the most authentic version you can be. I doubt that but that Twitter is the opposite for comics creators who or even James Gunn. None of these people are this quick-witted and funny in real life because people aren't. Like, my biggest complaint is people who talk as if they're on Twitter all the time. Like, you're not on Twitter. Stop talking like you're on Twitter.
I've seen people physically reenact GIFs that they would reply to a tweet in real life. Oh. It's so cringe.
LOL.
Let's go to Superchats. Speaking of cringe.
Let's do it.
I'm kidding.
Superchats,
Johnny Derp said, Person of Steel, are we assuming they're alloy? I am so sorry. I promise to grow and educate myself and do better.
Wait, so when the term person of interest for like the FBI came around, like so they were way ahead of their time. They didn't call them man of interest.
The FBI is so woke these days, guys.
Woke over there at
Assuming it's a person, though. It could be an animal.
I think we're a weird combination where we make fun of it, but we're still critiquing it, but we also make fun of the fact that
also making fun of ourselves.
Yeah, like there is something really cringy about like how like when like it's the word woke for me. I don't like it.
Something's gonna come along to replace it.
I go out of my way.
Always.
Like whenever I see it, I make an active face of like like I don't like it. It just seems overdone. It is like it's not like they're wrong, but it's also one of those things where everything gets labeled. It's like based. Like I see people on the left use based all the time.
And it's just like you didn't create that because you don't create any memes.
Isn't it weird
I
how
just welcome when they use based.
Isn't it
like, yes.
Isn't it weird how like the left like can do humor sometimes but they can't meme?
They literally can't do humor ever.
I
They're
think
the
when
most humorless people ever.
When they do it, it's mistaken for humor, but I think it's an accident.
But I think of like I would still consider Dave Chappelle, I guess maybe heterodox.
I think of him as apolitical.
Like
almost.
Yeah, me too.
But like the left, when they're trying to use humor, it always feels like there's a little bit of like butthurtness under all of this.
Yeah,
like everything they say is like a little bit like.
There's malice there.
Yeah,
and for the most part, when I see somebody, if I see somebody on the right
it's
critiquing,
like so anal retentive.
If I see the Babylon Bee making a meme, and they've had some great ones recently that have been targeting all of the like what's going on.
They've got clever writers
in the House of Representatives. They're like clowns electing head clown. But like when they do it, I don't get the feeling that they actually want to cause me harm or wish me ill will. They're just like my favorite Babylon Bee stuff tend to be their religious ones because it doesn't really relate to me. Like they had one today. It says like man of faith who watches 13 podcasts a day refuses to read an audio Bible or refuses to listen to an audio Bible. Like I laugh at that stuff because they're poking fun at themselves.
Yeah. There's something to be said about how people on one side can typically they enjoy getting made fun of when it's someone making fun of them and someone making fun of somebody else, but some people can't take making someone making fun of them.
Is it kind of like because like if you're anything to the right of like leftism, you're just going to be the butt of some bad joke in Hollywood, so you get used to jokes being made at your expense, so you learn to not take it personally? Like they just haven't grown up with anyone pushing back on anything they believe.
I don't think it's a learned behavior.
This is why we need bullying to come back in schools.
I see that comment.
Anti-bullying should have never been a campaign.
I see that comment more and more lately. Like the world was better when we were like, I don't even remember. Like I honestly don't remember that ever happening like at my school. I mean, I remember there being kids that were considered not cool, but I never saw the classic image of like a jock in like a jacket pushing a kid against a locker. I never saw that.
Me neither, but also I went to a much smaller and like
that's because
more insulated.
Mary was doing the bullying when she was in school.
Yeah,
I kind of was a little bit.
I mean, you do look like you would have been a fantastic mean girl.
Really? Now I do. In high school, I looked completely different than I do now. Big Dave sent us 99 cents without a message, like usual. Thank you. Raptor 1001 said, I have a theory that a lot of these rumors and articles that show up on Facebook about some changes to existing properties are planted by studios to see if these ideas are popular.
Yeah, one of the top...
That is a hot take.
One of the top comments in the Elliot Page one said, don't give them any ideas. Yeah. Like, don't even put that idea into their head. Like, you literally, push it into existence by accident. That's not a good thing.
He also said some equals woke. I don't really know what that means. Sorry.
Some equals woke.
Big Dave said, I hope everyone's holiday was awesome. I missed PCC, but I enjoyed my holiday with family. Hope you all did too.
You could have been tuning in with your family during the week after Christmas.
This is not family-friendly content. We just talked about Joker being pregnant.
We can you imagine, oh, guys, you got to listen to this podcast. Elliot Page! And then it just becomes all about, a bunch of...
wokeness, right, guys?
It's ruining everything. Am I right?
Yeah, we're niche.
Yes.
Francisco Sanchez Jr. said, "Whoa."
Is it niche or niche?
Definitely niche.
I still say niche.
Everyone knows it's niche.
Niche.
I don't know if there's a right one. It could be both.
Must be a regional thing.
Let us know in the comments.
No, I think everyone else agrees with you, but I like niche.
Mimic said, they can cast me as Superman and I still won't watch it. I'm done with their constant screwing around.
Yeah, I still enjoy going to see the movies to see if they're done, if they find a way to do them well, on top of everything. A lot of what we see in the media, you have to remember, a lot of people that are going to watch these movies aren't so jaded because they're not tied to this news cycle. Oh,
thank you guys.
Carter gets to hear it.
Yeah. That's new.
Do you know the movie?
We've been trying to switch it up a little bit.
Is that Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know the movie?
Is it Ace Ventura?
Nope.
F word. Who is it?
It's The Mask.
Word.
Oh!
The Mask.
That would have been my second guess.
That would have been Has somebody else pointed out yesterday, they said he did Liar Liar, The Mask, and Ace Ventura all in the same year. It was his version of the Bulls.
What just happened?
Did it
glitch?
It glitched.
What does that mean?
Okay, cool. All right. That's all right.
Noted.
Did
we get the party or not?
Thoughts on Jim Carrey being a great value Andy Kaufman?
Well, I mean, he played Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. But then he made it into a personality trait.
I mean, I love Jim Carrey. Socialist Jim Carrey. I still love him as an actor. So
Socialist Jim Carrey.
He's
it's like giving him a Trumpian nickname.
Yeah, like I still enjoy all of Jim Carrey's work for the most part. I even like the number 23.
Dude, I kind of love his serious roles.
Yeah.
The number 23, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Truman Show. He's one who gets a pass from me. Yeah. On the wokeness.
No, the thing is I give most of the actors a pass for their work. Like, it's like,
right.
I'm done. Like, not, like, I get it. A lot of these channels, like, they just don't care anymore. And they're like, look, these people are awful. I'm not supporting them. I can separate art from artist. Right. I know maybe that's not good for the culture. But look, if you're going to make it, like, why deprive myself of great art just because, like, there's a lot of people that have been objectively awful people that have made great art or great media that I just...
Probably sometimes it's because they're terrible people.
Yeah.
Because who else is able to solely focus on one thing?
Yeah.
Not having relationships. Like, why are philosophers other than having way too much free time?
Oh, man.
I need to stop watching YouTube, said Manlets. When will they learn? Is Elliot Page the representation that manlets needed?
What is a manlet?
I don't know what the official designation is. How short do you have to be
but a man?
to be considered a manlet?
Could I be a manlet at 5'5"?
No.
I mean, you're definitely significantly taller than Elliot Page.
That's good.
At least that.
But no surgically implanted abs.
By the way, sometimes when we like review stuff or we talk about some movies we're going to watch, we do get comments that are like, guys, stop giving money to people who hate you.
Yeah.
And it's just like you said just now. I just like kind of thought of that. We're not just like watching it for literally no reason. Like if we're remote from whatever wrongdoing they're responsible for at a certain level, like it's not, we're not responsible. We're not culpable for the damage they're doing directly.
I also kind of take the idea that like, we also have to point out, like, most of these quotes that we hear these people say are served up to them by reporters with disingenuous agendas.
Right.
And they're in Twitter is not real life. How many people have you met on Twitter, even people you like, that are vastly different in the real world than they are on the internet? Like, I imagine that if I met many celebrities that I disagree with in the real world, I could work to find common ground with them in the real world.
I almost think sometimes they're worse than they appear.
Think so?
In public appearances. Like Ellen DeGeneres. Like literally every talk show host on late night, on daytime, probably worse than they even appear on their shows, which is already pretty bad.
I'm thinking more of like the blue collar actors who might have a hot take here and there. Like one of my favorite things to do, guys, so many people were kind of, some people were giving me crap. Some people thought it was endearing that I was like, I contribute to IMDb trivia sections.
Really?
I love to contribute. But another great place to go to is if you ever use IMDb, the quote section is a great place to see quotes that aren't served up by reporters. So you get some stuff that makes them seem a lot more normal.
Any celebrity who hasn't sold their soul yet, you'd be able to find common ground with them, middle ground. But a lot of them have sold their souls if they're at the top.
Yep.
So
let's do one more and then we will move on.
Caper2X said, Brett, you're assuming I care. Instead, I enjoy the DC chaos. Please pass the popcorn, Mary. Howdy, Carter. Yeah, he's like, howdy. Are you enjoying pregnant Joker, Anon?
He's
pass the popcorn. You'll love this next part.
I do kind of feel like
and just Elliot Page.
Caper2X gets to be supremely like snarky and like really like overconfident and like self-important over here. Like not even self-important. He gets to be over here like, look at all these losers over at DC suffering while I am over here at, kind of annoying but steady Marvel that, for the most part releases stuff that's not super, super gnarly stupid. Like, yeah, sure, some of it sucks, but does it seem like the movies are all that bad? Tim's really excited about Quantumania. He's like really excited about Quantumania.
That's odd to me. Like I can't imagine. That trailer was underwhelming.
Yeah. Let's do one more, and then we'll move on because I got
one more for real this time.
One more
guys.
for real this time.
AS said Conor McGregor as Superman. Irish representation. We really do need it, guys. I have some Irish heritage. I would feel very represented and validated.
Would you?
Yes. It'd be very fulfilling for me. Okay, the next thing that we're going to talk about is like maybe a white pill. Cardi B just posted a tirade against inflated prices on groceries. And you might think like she's so rich, why would she even need to consider that? But at the same time, I'm glad somebody is talking about it, right? And it's in a rather nonpartisan way where I think everyone can get an agreement on this. I think we should react to the video before we say anything.
All right. We're going for this one here, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me tell you something. When I be complaining about food prices and y'all motherfuckers be like, ain't you rich? Why you complaining about lettuce? Why you complaining about this? That just goes to show me when you become successful, when you have money, you're gonna fucking...
I'm with you, my life in bits.
Because y'all not budgeting. I get a summary of the money that's being spent in my home every week. So when I'm starting to see that like groceries is like tripling up, it's like, hey, yo, what the fuck is going on? I want to see for myself what the fuck shit is being spent on. And like when I go to the fucking supermarket, like I went to the supermarket, I'm seeing that everything tripled up. That like lettuce was like $2 a couple of months ago. And now it's like fucking $7. Of course I'm going to say something. The fuck? Because if I think that shit is crazy, I could only imagine what middle class people or people in the hood is motherfucking thinking. So yes, I'm going to say something. The fuck? And I have a big platform, so I do want anybody that's responsible of these fucking prices to put that shit the fuck down. They're gonna see my shit, they might put it down. So shut the
I mean, I don't think they can do it like that.
No, but here's my favorite thing. I just out of curiosity, I Googled Cardi B endorses. Well, she endorsed Joe Biden on a podcast with Bernie Sanders.
We all remember that.
Maybe she got cold feet.
And she also endorsed AOC for president. So it's only worse from here, my friends.
Hey, maybe she's going through an evolution.
Right, we're watching it live.
She is right about lettuce inflation, though. And I love the deep symbology there. Lettuce, money, inflation.
Oh.
It's a fact. Lettuce is, I think, inflated by 19.8% more highly than any other staple produce. And it's gone from, she said it herself, $2 a head to $7 a head.
Are you kidding me?
That's pretty wild, at least in LA. I don't know about anywhere else. She also tweeted on the 3rd, nah, grocery shopping prices are ridiculous right now. You might as well eat outside. I'm sorry, what does eating outside mean?
If you eat outside, it hurts less to spend the money if you eat outside. Also, I want to literally see...
I think I know what she meant.
My favorite thing would be if like next week we get her like with Dave Smith podcast segments posted and starts posting like "End the Fed" memes. That would be the best.
Like, I think like there are a lot of reactions where I'm like, okay, slow your roll. You're getting your hopes up on these celebrities a little too much. Like one person said, when Cardi B starts bitching about lettuce being $7 a head, what she really meant to say is bring back Trump.
Right.
And then another person reacted the complete opposite and said, her communist era is coming and we can't wait for it. What? And I was just like, literally, where was that said?
I was thinking back to 2000. What that made me think of was in 2009, there was an incredible Jay Sean song called Down. It was an R&B. Remember that song? Down.
Yeah, that was a great song.
In that video, Lil Wayne wears a shirt that says communist on it. And he, because he talks about down like the economy, and then he shows his shirt where it's like, Lil Wayne. Like, there is no industry more capitalist than the entertainment industry, really, when you think about it, especially music. An industry that complains.
Especially rap.
That complains constantly.
Right.
He literally runs
a flex culture.
Cash Money Records.
Like you work hard, you get more money.
Like Cash Money Records. And the best part about this is, like, this is a dude who, like, literally... like in this song, like there's like fake money in the video. And it's like, I love it. It's just it's part of the culture. But at the same time, he was like it's just a reference to like the fact the economy sucked in 2009. But does he actually understand that? No, because they're detached from the actual reality that we live in. But I'm kind of here for it. Like it makes me laugh.
I'm kind of here for it also because she's not being divisive about it. She's just trying to bring awareness to it. And also, she does come from a much different background. She literally was a stripper.
Yep.
And like that ain't easy. I'm sure she knows what it's like to struggle with affording things. And she got a little bit of pushback on this take. One person replied, "I get where you're coming from. They won't change the prices due to you though. It's called inflation and based on the economy, but it's smart that you go over how your money is being spent." She quote tweeted them and she said, "Not necessarily because of me, but if we bring enough awareness to inflation, you never know."
Yes, that's how you get rid of inflation, guys. You bring awareness to it.
Enough people know about it, they'll have to change up their prices.
Well, I was also
maybe
waiting
she doesn't have the most sophisticated take on an economic issue, but I mean, at least somebody is mentioning this.
Yeah.
Somebody who isn't directly affected by it.
It's hilarious to me.
Another person said, "Infamous far-right conspiracy theorist Cardi B claims food prices have tripled in a bizarre anti-government rant."
I love it.
Is she an anarchist? Is she a capitalist Republican pro-Trump? Is she a communist? We'll never know. But for some reason, we agree with what she's saying.
Anarcho-capitalist Cardi B, who should be placed as the Speaker of the House.
And yesterday, I was just saying in relation to Jenna Ortega that I think it's annoying when celebrities inundate social media with their political opinions all the time, wherever they fall on the political spectrum. But what I respect is that Cardi B is trying to bring this up as something we can all get behind.
It doesn't sound partisan. She's like trying to work something out in her head that she just hasn't. She doesn't quite have the literacy to figure out what's causing it, but she understands that something's wrong.
She's promoting something that's incredibly rare in our current culture, which is personal responsibility and fiscal responsibility.
Yeah.
And I really respect that. She's telling people a real solution to some of their problems, like tracking their finances.
Yeah, that caught me.
She could go drug someone and steal more money from them, and that way she can have more money.
Did you want to get into that controversy?
Go back and not vote for Biden.
Me and Mary fall on opposite ends of this. That story still bothers me. That
I got a hot take.
I mean, I'm not saying it shouldn't bother you. What's your hot take?
What's the story first? Because I remember something about that.
She's admitted on live streams that she used to drug and rob Johns when she was would you call it a prostitute or an escort? A prostitute.
An escort, whatever. It all means the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Basically, like, she admitted that and thought that it wasn't that serious, and then people were like, "Whoa, you like committed really awful crimes." I agree. I don't think we should be comfortable with the fact that she did that. But also, I'm just saying, like, if you didn't know that's commonplace for being a prostitute or escort or stripper, like, you just don't understand the reality of what they do for a living.
Maybe it's the drug part about it that bothers me. Not so, like if this is a thing where the guy's like handcuffed me to the bed for like BDSM, and then she steals his wallet and leaves, I would somehow find that less egregious.
I mean, it's not like she was Eileen Warnos and just killed them or something like that.
Yeah,
this is
I'm not saying it was good.
No, I'm not either.
It's just it's like look, I understand this is the way of the world. Like you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, but I just don't like that she feels safe just talking about it and then literally no one seems to care.
Well, I think she felt comfortable talking about it because she's desensitized to the fact that that's not part of any normal middle-class person's experience.
It's comforting that she says stuff like that without like it's almost Trumpian where she says the quiet part out loud. Right.
Yeah, like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it happened. I don't think any of those men have come forward saying anything about it because they committed a crime as well.
Exactly.
The real question is, did she finish the job first and then drug them? Or did he get what he paid for?
That is the real question.
So did he get what he paid for and then she just stole the rest of his money? Or did they not even get what they paid for and then...
I think the latter would be better.
There would be no stealing if she earned it.
No, but
just drugging.
But I'm saying that he probably had more money in his wallet than what he owed her, and she just stole the extra money. not just.
I'm not particularly
What do you think, Mary?
scandalized by the story. I mean, it's something incredibly commonplace for people in that line of work.
Isn't this
but
what
anyway.
Bill Cosby was in jail for?
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right, but
without
he didn't pay them.
she didn't do sexual activity with them, so
Oh,
it's different.
In the chat, I only say that because somebody in the chat said Cardi B Cosby.
They'll be great friends when Bill Cosby is back on tour next year or this year, actually. Isn't he going to be?
Oh, you got some hate in the chat for that one.
I was
I got
shocked
a picture
by
with
that.
Bill Cosby.
Really?
Yeah,
How long ago?
before.
Yeah,
It's like
way
it's like
before.
It was,
it's like right before he goes into jail. Carter's
Dude,
just hanging out at the jail. With
I
Bill
thought
Cosby.
about trolling and making it my profile picture on Facebook or
Hey,
something like.
do it
Yeah,
now
I saw him at the airport.
on Twitter.
Oh, I could.
He's making his comeback.
Is he
Ready
really?
or not? Yeah,
I
we
might do
covered
it right
that.
now.
the
But
other
So
day.
here's the
it.
thing. Like so many people have rightly pointed out, like, look, Trump printed a lot of the money. He contributed a fair amount to the inflation as well. But the thing is, she does not understand that voting for the policies that she's voting for,
Right.
be it AOC, be it a potential AOC candidate in the future, and certainly Biden with all of the money that we're sending to Ukraine and we're printing money.
Exactly.
out
Okay,
of thin air.
all the facts are irrelevant here.
The point is, she's working something out in her head, and it's funny to me to watch it happen because it did seem to come from a place of like, I'm not partisan, I'm just wondering what the hell is going on. And we're kind of over here like, oh, you poor thing.
It's giving me the same vibes as like Katy Perry taking a selfie in the voting booth voting for Rick Caruso.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, celebrities kind of have a right to be upset about the state of things in LA. I saw this other take that said, I feel like Cardi B is just inches away from getting red pilled, but she can't quite get there.
I don't know.
Is Cardi B on her red pill journey right now? You have a friend who's on a red pill journey. Do you think it looks similar?
No. I mean, my friend is really, really smart. Like, really, really smart. Like,
and you're saying Cardi B is dumb?
Yeah, what are you saying?
I'm saying that
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that on average, I'm guessing she's not as smart as he is. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. Maybe she's a genius.
I mean,
in private.
she wouldn't gain anything from showing people
Like
that she's smart.
Like, so it's just one of those things. Like I've told this story. Like, I have a friend who's just on this incredible red pill journey where, like, in less than a year, like in like a couple of weeks, he made it to Luke, and like now he's regularly posting Dave Smith. And talking about liberty is the strongest form of social justice, and it's just he's a friend
Love
that
to see
literally used to listen to me rant about this stuff for hours and just be politely listening while I complained about literally everything. And now he's just like, he's going through it too, and it's great to see. I would love to see Cardi B like next year. She's like at the Mises, like she's like Mises Caucus.
Cardi
and
B is going to be speaking at CPAC.
she's
guys.
like, yeah,
Are
like-
you ready?
No, I know I'm
going.
We go, like they do a video with her where she has to go find her Republican red or blue dress. Like they're like, she's like, she can't go as Cardi B. She has to go as like the quintessential, like it's the just above the knee dress that all the Republican women just seem to like. They all buy it from like RepublicanWomenDressStore.com.
We already saw last year Nicki Minaj getting kind of red pilled on vax stuff, and then people memed that into existence.
Yeah.
And nothing's off the table anymore.
Durazno Kid says, he says, how can you be smart and non-red pilled? He was just not politically active at the time. Like he's a computer programmer. He would listen to what I would say and he'd say, that's interesting. But he'd say, I'd have to do more research before I said you were right or wrong. He basically would say like, like, I don't know. It was the vaccines that red pilled him because, he basically like started doing a bunch of research because it became a topic of discussion in his household with his family, with his wife. So that's what kind of got him on the train of like, now he's like, Fauci needs to go to jail. And it's great. Like, that's what we need next. We need Cardi B. She's just like, Fauci. She's like, Fauci's a criminal. And every time something happens, she's like, must have been the Fauci ouchie or something like that.
Like promoting Died Suddenly.
This
is getting whack. Okay, we need to go to Super
Let's
Chats. Corey Anderson said, Mary, you're a lady, not a girl. I apologize for using that wording then.
Do you prefer, would you prefer to be called a lady or a girl?
My parents actually did buy me some obscure but real title of a lady in Wales when I was like 12.
Like those things like that, like sometimes like YouTubers will advertise those things where you can buy land in Scotland. Like it's like a square foot of land and it gives you a lord, like you can become a lord.
I think it was like that. It was kind of funny.
Is that like the modern day version of buying someone space on the moon, or buying somebody a star with their name on it? Like you can
Pretty
have
much
a star with your name on it.
And then Elon Musk is just gonna take all of your stars from you.
Somebody should do that for like this year. If you want to go ultra cheese with your significant other, buy them like a star with their name on it.
Or
Nice.
don't even buy it. Just make a
Make
fake
a fake
certificate.
How are they gonna check?
Like, that's the one right
You can't
there.
fact check that. That's true. Bryce E said, "I want it to happen so it fails, so I can laugh."
That's what
I'm saying.
But that's such a great scam. Like you just make this business. I'm sorry. I'm going back to this thing. You just make a thing where you're selling someone a star. Like how the hell is anyone gonna like look up at that star and be like, that's mine?
Yeah.
Like incredible.
There's no way to know.
I mean, you can't really go to Scotland and like stand on your cube and plant a tree in it. That's just, I worked it out in my head. It's impossible. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Because like
you'll never find
they're
it.
what, 1 square foot? So
I mean,
imagine trying to plant.
I don't know, but
9 people try and plant trees next to each other. It just wouldn't work.
yeah. Pride of 84 said, "The real question is who's making up the losses that these studios are incurring with these woke failures. Laundered tax dollars, maybe?"
Yep. We've developed an economy with like tax codes that are understood so well by these companies that they've just found a way to live in the post-profit era. They just don't need to make money anymore. Like they're just like, you know what? It is what it is, and then somehow they're fine. Like,
the more headlines or hoaxes of this nature come out, the more people are like, the entire film industry and comic book industry just kind of feels like a money laundering scheme. And it's half true.
The comic industry is it's such a rounding error for a company the size of Warner Media and Discovery that it's one of those things.
Zaslav is not he's strict about rounding errors.
But I could literally see him just being like, we still do that. Like
axe it now.
Well, no, just like if anything, like
Slash
they
it.
literally, because at one point, people in the chat, if they still follow the comic industry, will remember they were considering outsourcing their comics. They were going to just have them done by IDW. They were going to outsource the characters to other people and have them pay the licensing fee to use the character.
Someone said, "How did you guys not know it was a scam?"
I did. I didn't want to say anything.
It's a
So I wasn't sure.
What?
The Elliot Page thing.
Well, yeah. Of course.
Oh,
if he's talking about the no, I think they're talking about the
tree thing.
The tree thing.
Right.
Oh,
That came out as like. It was
I don't think you'd call the
exposed.
Elliot Page thing a scam. That's just a fake news story.
hoax.
A hoax.
Poco Rosso forever said trans Joker makes sense. He's a villain and he's crazy.
He is pretty nuts.
Caper2X said, "Yeah, Juno is Superman. Make mine Marvel, Brett."
Look,
He's winning.
he always
and you're
wins.
coping and seething.
He always wins, and I'm always coping and seething.
And you have like a shrine to Warner Media in your bedroom.
I have a big picture. Little do you guys know, I have a David Zaslav picture book with hearts drawn around it,
Yeah.
and Ben Affleck. I got a big Ben Affleck poster with a
You have
heart
an
drawn
altar,
around it.
like Dahmer.
Yeah, basically.
Francisco Sanchez Jr. said the Singularity will be a Marvel versus DC movie with the highest tier casting. Picture this: Billy Porter as Wonder Woman, Leah Thomas as Captain America, Dylan Mulvaney as Batman, Lil Nas X as Miles Morales. The sky is the limit.
Billy Porter.
I am horrified.
Who is Billy Porter? Who did he say Billy Porter was?
Billy Porter
As who?
as Wonder Woman.
Oh my gosh. And Leah Thomas as Captain America is kind of incredible. And then Fallon Fox
God.
as the Punisher.
It can't get any worse than this.
We could do this.
RF
Actually, no.
Tassa's stat.
Fallon Fox could play Daredevil because Daredevil was a boxer. Fallon Fox was MMA, but still, Fallon Fox could be Daredevil. That would be great.
It's happening. Araftas' chat said, "Joke's on them. I can't afford bad comics anymore."
Yeah, it's too
The
expensive.
recession
anyways.
is not solving these problems. Elijah Borges.
Well, we should ask Cardi B for advice on how to solve the recession.
Honestly, yeah, she probably has the secret.
I think she's told us everything she knows.
The B in Cardi B stands for bank book. And she
No.
just keeps
The B in Cardi B stands for breadlines.
So commie B.
Yeah. Elijah Borges said, "Mary, it was not fair to assume I was advocating the right for fathers to demand abortions yesterday. Was pointing out that actually being pro-choice would mean men are not obliged to an impending family they don't want." I can't read the rest of
the
this.
equivalent right to women.
Oh. Yeah,
Let's
I
argue
barely
about-
remember even like what topics we covered yesterday, let alone the wording of what your super chat was. But thanks for the clarification.
But it's this is pop culture crisis. Who wants to argue about abortion? Huh?
Nothing.
Let's go.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, I got to take her for the Bretman movie, but they're a part of Marvel, so hey, thank you.
Nice.
Now we're gonna have to see if it does the thing again.
I wonder if it's gonna glitch. Yeah.
I wonder if that's a glitch, if that's a programming error.
What if it just glitched to continue playing for the rest of the show and we just had to ignore it?
I'd be down with that.
There's some great shots of like us, like where it's like very loud and there's money just going everywhere, and me and Mary are just like staring at the camera, blank
completely
face,
stoic,
just stone faced because we're so used to seeing it.
Anyway, this person said, "Let me say it again."
Glitch?
Wait, what?
So a lot of money just came out of that.
No,
machine.
No, it's a crisis
that's the
part.
norm.
Okay, well, it was late on the
glitch is like the audio started
right.
again.
No, I
couldn't
understand
figure
that.
out. We're gonna have to wait. We'll have to see if that's gonna happen again.
I'm sorry. Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, I got to take her for the Bretman movie, but they're a part of Marvel, so we could have a Bretman movie, but it will be in the MCU.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I
You
mean,
are?
No. Can we compromise and be part of like the Netflix?
You're gonna go see it in the MCU hat that you have.
Yes,
the Marvel hat. You were so generously gifted for Christmas.
Hey, I still love it. I still have it. I just can't. I just when I wear it, I feel like I'm turning into Caper 2X, and then I get very upset, and I have to take it off.
Out, yeah.
Also in the chat, of course, somebody said, sorry, Suring Zero Production says this is not a political show. Yes, the quintessential one. If anything, that should have been said during the Cardi B segment, because that got a little Biden-esque, a little bit.
Well, the thing is, like, Cardi B was not making it political, which is a good thing.
Politics are downstream of culture.
I can't think of anything less like interesting than
like me
politics
and,
right now. Like I got over that obsession very quickly.
Oh, the Speaker of the House isn't as interesting. I mean, I only like it because I find Lauren Boebert to be extremely attractive, so I'm enjoying watching her stand her ground, but not because of politics, but because Lauren Boebert is va va boom.
Va va boom. Oats Red Swoon said, much love to y'all, Brett, Mary, and Carter. Carter, will you be needing a session musician in the future? Holla at ya boy.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
Lots of plans.
What's on the docket right now?
If you
Anything
can
you
tell
can
us.
talk about.
So there's a lot going on. Album-wise, getting different songs ready. I'm still working on the plan, but we're also in the middle of like a studio move. Tim talked about it a little bit earlier today, just as far as like the goals of, since he's been live like all day. I tuned in for a little bit, and he was kind of talking about the push and pull between what kind of music he wants to make, what kind of music is wanted to be made.
Did you see that Tom MacDonald just became the first independent artist to become the highest selling person on Billboard? Like the number one seller on Billboard.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting, since he's never charted like.
For how long?
Well, I'd have to look into it more. It was like number one in sales on Billboard.
Oh, that's sweet. I believe it.
Like he's developed his very own like very, very fervent, devoted fan base of people.
Dude.
Like my brother loves Tom MacDonald, and I'm just like,
it's funny, my whole family does.
Like it's good. And I'm like somebody who's like, he has one song that I really, really love called No Lives Matter, and that was before he that's a legitimately good song that just happens to have been at one point politically relevant. I mean, still politically relevant, right. But in general, I enjoy his non-political music more than his, like he has a song called Church that I really, really like. But in general, like most of that stuff, like I'm still going to listen to 3 6 Mafia, and I'm still going to listen to Ghetto Boys, and I'm still going to listen to like rap music that has nothing to do with my upbringing. Like, I don't want music with a message. I want music that's absolutely abhorrent. I don't want it to preach
and
anything.
Not relatable whatsoever.
I don't want it to be relatable. I want it to preach things that are detrimental to society. I love it. I don't care.
Think hard enough, everything's relatable. But yeah, to touch back on the music stuff, the best thing I can say right now is just to follow Trash House Rex. I think it's Trash House Records on YouTube. Plan is coming together, and I'll be, checking out and checking back on stuff when the time is right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But we are definitely going to be growing the music.
Cool.
So
excellent, man.
Dragon Stallion 1001 said, "Don't bring back bullying, bring back shaming." potato, if you ask me.
Yeah.
What do you think about the difference between a shame culture and a guilt culture? So the idea is that, like, look, when you were in a guilt culture, you corrected your own actions because you actually felt bad about what you did. In a shame culture, shaming someone doesn't mean you actually want to change your behavior. You do so because society tells you. It doesn't mean you're actually changing how you feel or think. Like when we shame people on Twitter and they say, "Oh, I am so sorry that I offended Group A and Group B and Group C," they don't mean that crap. If anything, it makes you more ingrained in your beliefs when people shame you. I think we need to embrace a guilt culture where we actually become better people, thus change our own actions rather than a culture of shame.
I don't know. Maybe it's just depending on my understandings of those words, what they mean. I think that shaming has always been a thing, but shame is a little bit more narcissistic than guilt, in my opinion. Guilt is just, having remorse for your actions. Shame is about obsessively worrying about how you're perceived, if you're a good person in other people's perception rather than in objective reality.
Yeah.
I think
that's
guilt
what we're more
comes,
concerned with now.
like a culture of guilt comes from having been shamed. So in order to get back to a guilt culture, we got to shame people. I think
I don't feel like I was shamed super much. And I'm like, we took like one extra day off work and I felt extremely guilty.
Maybe that's just because like, you're right. Actually, I have no argument for that. I don't know.
Let us know what you guys think. DD Megadoodoo97 said, just wanted to say hey and wish you guys a strong year. And if I may also make a suggestion that you use the reverberated fart sound for your crisis sound. That is all. Have you heard this soundbite that's like it's like in all like those really badly made TikToks and Vines that's like dung, like the dun sound?
No.
I'm gonna need to show it to you because I sound like so stupid
Can
referencing
we hear it right
when
now?
you don't know.
Is there a way?
Yeah, I can look it up.
We'll have to work on it. Like I'm trying to change the crisis party sound effect. Like I would like to do it once a week. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with that.
Yeah, I need to make you guys a potluck song still. Podluck
or
song.
can you just scream crisis party?
Yeah.
Like just like I have too much. I can't do it myself.
Yeah.
I can't do it
what
myself.
kind of scream do you want it to be?
I want it to be like an 80s hair band scream.
With
party.
music?
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
I want it has to be like that quickly, and then I'm gonna mix it with the horns.
Oh yeah, I'll give you a
effects.
raw vocal take.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
I think
yeah.
I found it. That.
But what's
Have you heard that before?
Play it again.
It's like in every like TikTok.
I don't know.
meme.
It just sounds like something smacking against
An
something.
impact.
Yeah.
I guess this is a generational difference, but it's in like every TikTok, Vine, whatever.
Can I hear it one more time?
Did anybody hear?
I'll send it to you.
Did anybody? Have you ever seen the how to make a blockbuster movie trailer? And it says,
I think
so
I have.
formulaic.
Did I play that
Andy
for you?
showed it to me.
Or
Or
yeah,
you did.
I think
I
I
can't
showed it to
remember.
Andy. Like it's
Yeah.
like, and it says
Low
low
bois.
bois, high bois. It's like
Whoosh.
it's all the same. And when you really look at it, every superhero movie trailer is essentially the same thing.
Which
It's like,
is why I
Right.
don't understand. Like, you'd be excited for Quantumania.
of all the trailers.
It's the most formulaic trailer I've ever seen, and they're replacing the male character
It's
in an incremental way.
but yeah, low bois. It's like that thing you didn't think was ever gonna happen. Well, it's happening.
Exactly.
It's like it literally would be every trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, and at the end, it's like insert quote about fatalism.
Or the villain saying like, "I don't want justice.
Yes.
I want revenge."
It's even like in the trailer. It's even worse. It's like for every action, there's an equal or opposite
Yeah.
reaction.
And
I
it's
love
like
it.
A riser comes
All right, let's do one more, and then let's move on.
Okay, Tacti Plati said he made the Photoshop that you mentioned before.
Ooh, to the
posted
Reddit?
it on Reddit.
All
yeah.
right, we're gonna have to save it for when we do the next
Yes.
meme review.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're moving on.
This is
yep.
about Doja Cat, and I think that we're gonna see her like team up with Jeffree Star once she escapes the Illuminati. I just wanted to explore the conspiracy theory.
The team up we didn't know we needed.
Yeah, that's the iconic duo that we didn't know we needed, Doja Cat and Jeffree Star. But there's a running conspiracy theory, if you can call it that Doja Cat is part of the Illuminati and is performing occult humiliation rituals on the public stage. And we're all just watching it happen in front of our very eyes.
It's like the Satanists. They get off on performing the acts in front of you, making you complicit.
I mean,
so you're complicit.
So like
in her initiation.
Remember
into
the Andrew Tate theory that the Balenciaga thing was about Satanists working out their karmic retribution, which is that they have to show you what they're doing in order for it to not have a negative reaction on them. Doja Cat has all but said, like, I am in the Illuminati. I'm a verified member of the Illuminati. Like, let's show some videos from TikTok, because this is mostly come from TikTok instead of from like mainstream publications.
This one?
This comes from her Instagram Live.
This one.
Libra, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Doja's vibes lately, it's giving humiliation phase.
Yeah, there she has like the bruise on her eye.
Like, the phases
and
of
missing
like
teeth.
Indoctrination into like the secret societies, whatever. Check out down here where I've referenced many
Open
times
it
before
in full screen
videos,
so they can see the cake.
Glitches in
Oh no, you have to log in.
celebrities. And we've seen it time and time again with people like Katy Perry, just like this recent glitch. Celebrities go through this kind of like phase.
Or they do a lot of drugs.
Symbolism on Doja's 27 cake. Girl made it past the 27 club and had an eyes wide shut themed birthday party, which if you haven't seen it contains so much symbolism. But this Freemason freaking Illuminati cake, what? Guests coming like this? Tell me I'm...
You can't okay, you can't see because it's cut off in the frame right now. At her party, they were all wearing like masquerades and cloaks, and that birthday cake that was for her 27th birthday had the Eye of Horus and the symbol of Freemasonry on it in black and gold.
It's just art nerds, dude.
Freemasonry is not a cult. Like,
I mean, I would say there were more occult aspects to it hundreds of years ago than there are today.
It's also, there was a really funny thing that said,
just like,
when you look it up, it says the secretive group known as the Freemasons. I'm like, so secret that literally everyone knows that it's a group.
Well, I think this is more like Jeffree Star was referring to the Illuminati, where it's like sort of a working colloquial nickname for Hollywood elite secret or semi-secret societies, which I think anyone can admit do exist. And there are things you have to do in order to be initiated into them.
So is Jay-Z like a main member now since he does the...
Right. Like I was thinking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. The fact that
Travis
they
Scott?
semi-jokingly admitted to being in this so-called Illuminati, even in Beyonce's song Formation, there was that lyric that was like, y'all haters corny with that Illuminati shit. Because she's making fun of it, but almost it feels like Doja Cat jokes about this to the point where it's weirder than if she just brushed it off. Like, let's watch this part from her Instagram
I think
Live.
if she just brushed it off, that would be the evidence that like this feels like she's actually. So you think she's like playing it off like it's like a double negative? Like if I pretend like I'm part of it, it's because I'm actually part
making
of
fun
it?
of anyone who points out that you might be involved in some shady stuff, but
All right.
like to an obsessive
So
degree
we're
where
watching
it's your
this
birthday party theme.
This one here?
Yeah.
All right. It's just art nerds, I think. It's just art nerds.
They gave me one too many dirty martinis yesterday.
Wait, go back to the beginning of the video.
I'm all fucked up.
Brett.
What?
It's where she admits that she's in the Illuminati.
I wish I knew you wanted... Yes, I joined the Illuminati. They gave me one too many dirty martinis yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think that's serious.
So now I'm all fucked up.
It's just art nerds.
Play the rest of it. Play the rest of it.
I didn't know it was a plan from the start.
She just seems out of her gourd.
Those crafty
Drugs.
motherfuckers.
And she looks unrecognizable as herself.
They
like,
what does she look like
Leviosa me.
when she started her career, she looked really great. I think she's an attractive lady, and she's shaved her head a la Britney. She's bleached her eyebrows.
Yeah, it's like she looks really weird.
I know she's kidding. I'm not saying she's not kidding. I'm saying when you joke about something to the point where you're the only one bringing it up, it's more sus than if you just lived your life like normal. And then there's that photo of her, or like many photos of her at that red carpet event where she was wearing this fake bruise makeup on her eye and fake missing teeth, which is something that is known to be, or like at least rumored to be, a common humiliation ritual in secret societies in both politics and Hollywood. And then I also wanted to mention that...
But she shaved her eyebrows on Instagram Live, right? Isn't she just kind of going through her own like early midlife crisis? Like,
well,
I'm a famous Hollywood celebrity. Look at me, I'm weird.
Whether Doja Cat is doing occult humiliation rituals or not, she's very clearly embarrassing herself publicly quite often, and if drugs are involved, that could be part of the story, but like it's not normal behavior to choose to look ugly when you are an attractive young woman.
Do you think the handlers of these people are the ones making these Illuminati decisions for their outfits and stuff?
We know that handlers are a thing. We know
Kanye West.
Harley Pasternak exists. Right. Those text messages have not been falsified.
So I would say
I believe that they're
them
real.
Kind of just orchestrating all this stuff that the people up front really don't even care to know about.
Like, you'd be delusional to think that Harley Pasternak is the only one running a racket like the way he does. Like, he is not a one of a kind in that industry. There are other Harley Pasternaks that we don't know their names, and we don't get to see the text conversations they have with people they manage or train. And I don't think it's totally an outlandish idea that there are exclusive, secret, or somewhat secret clubs in Hollywood, and they initiate people in occult ways. Like, I don't think that's out of nowhere. And she's out here, like, she's on TikTok throwing up the triangle sign, and she's trying to make a joke out of it, but it's like no one is even mentioning it except for you. Like, it's
wasn't she
kind of
responding
weird.
to a super chat or something like that?
She's very erratic on social media. Like, right now, her Twitter account, her profile picture on Twitter basically looks like Jared Leto's Joker.
Yep.
Her header image is her toes, like her foot, close up to the camera. Her bio says, "You're annoying, STFU." Her location, my ass. And all of her tweets are things that I can't repeat because they're awful, like so expletive, and I will get clipped.
Fart.
And then back in like Halloween season, she tweeted, "Please be quiet about the Illuminati. Everyone is finding out, and we want to keep it secret. Sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's over the top.
You're going way too far to make fun of the people that are accusing you of this.
So
you know?
I have a question. What are the qualifications to get into the Illuminati? How do I get in? Where do I apply?
So I can tell you about Freemasonry because I was approached and asked to be a member. And this is why
when did this happen?
Like 10 years ago.
And also, like, are you familiar with the scene that Jeffree Star was in?
I saw you guys.
Why he would say that he was threatened by the Illuminati?
I need to go back and watch the discussion y'all had because I saw that one of the things. I was like, shit, I should be there. But just in Freemasonry, you can only become a member if somebody else who's already a Freemason asks you and like brings you to the lodge and pitches you. So you have to be asked by someone who's already, that you can't ask to become one. From what I understand, this is what somebody told me who was a Freemason. And I went to their lodge.
So it's invitation only.
Right.
There you go, Brett. You're saying like it's a bunch of art nerds. It's a bunch of art nerds.
It's a bunch of art nerds.
People literally said the same exact thing about Balenciaga, but you're completely on the other side on that one. The truth is, it's always both.
I mean, but
it's always both and.
This isn't it's
art nerds and intentionally evil people.
It's for her. It feels so cringy, like she's trying to make a joke out of something that is. Hey, maybe it's real. Doesn't feel real to me. It feels like a freaking joke.
I think that's her achieving the point, though.
Yeah.
What we know about it, though, is like, or at least what I think people need to realize is like, art nerds are the evil people in our society. Like, they literally are palpably evil people who do and believe and participate in objectively evil things. Like there's almost no distinction left at this point. And
well, there's plenty of evil people in other areas.
When we see people like go to the extreme conclusions, yeah, like it kind of loses me. Like I saw this one TikTok where this girl said, when you expose the gender trap and tell them every celebrity is born the opposite gender and transitioned as sacrifice to gain fame, money, and power, and then they created the LGBT community to continue blood, physical, surgical sacrifices, but y'all ain't ready for this conversation yet. You're kind of losing me there.
Right.
But like something in the middle is true. Yeah. I know that. Like you can't tell me nothing fishy is going on in this industry.
I think a good example of that would be like when that TikTok girl with the blue hair said that Katy Perry was glitching.
Right.
During that thing.
And it's like, was her eyelash glue melting? Was she malfunctioning?
I have
because of like
my
some
own
kind of
theory that I'm going to withhold,
control?
But you know.
No, don't withhold it. Tell us.
I'm going to withhold it because YouTube would take it down. So.
Oh, okay.
We hate YouTube sometimes.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up though is like, remember when she was kind of a breakout hit with like pretending to be a cow?
Yeah.
She's like,
oh yeah,
bitch,
holy
I'm
crap!
a cow. She's always been out there and like adventurous with getting attention on the internet, but
Katy Perry or Doja Cat?
How could you lose the plot so much?
Like this is the thing for me. We're in an age now where
I don't even know anything about Doja Cat.
If this was all like in an age where you're encouraged to act in the worst and most outlandish possible way on the internet because it gets you clicks, we're talking about it. So sure, maybe something in the middle is true, but I also believe that people are self-interested, and this imagery evokes a certain audience that will talk about it in a way that will drive traffic to certain sites. And like, do I believe she goes to bed at night thinking about Freemasonry and the Illuminati? No, I don't. Not for a second. I think that she's probably doing a lot of drugs, and I think she thinks this stuff's funny, and I think she's got money and means to do stuff like this. She can afford to have a lavish birthday party with a stupid theme that will get morons on the internet like us. Us is morons. We are the morons talking about it. It's fun, but I don't think that like for her, I don't think there's something more nefarious going on. Balenciaga, yes, I believe that there was a lot of evil going on with Balenciaga. But you're right; they're cut from the same cloth. Of the like, she is the art nerd that just seems like she's trolling. That's different than the art nerds that are there putting child, dangerous, disgusting images of children sandwiched in between regular ads, right? So I feel like what it is like. It's kind of like the definition of something in the middle, right? Like the evil stuff on the other side of Balenciaga here. So the evil is on the other side here with Balenciaga. And then we've got people in the middle that are just profiting off it by making it some type of message on the internet that they can use to drive traffic to their name.
There was kind of a thread between Doja Cat and Balenciaga that I found.
Yeah.
She had her hit Say So in 2020, Carter, like if you remember that song. It was on TikTok a lot. And then that's how she became known to a lot more people. And then in her music video for that song, which, by the way, you must be like so lucky to release a pop song in late February 2020 and then go viral on TikTok. Like, good for you for that lucky timing. But in that music video, there was a very brief, almost subliminal message about the JFK assassination, where for like a split second, Doja Cat is flipping through a magazine showing the images of Jackie Kennedy crawling over the car.
Yeah.
What?
Like, and I didn't notice it the first time watching through, but that is obviously an intentional decision on the part of the people doing this music video and Doja Cat. And they plant these seeds all the time. It's Balenciaga and Doja Cat and so many other artists. This isn't new. Is it art nerds? Is it drugs? Is it joking around on the internet? Is it real secret societies? I would say all of those things and more.
It's art nerds that read a lot about secret societies that have gained influence in industries that have money and influence and power. So they end up closer. Or maybe they're making the art as like a call to try and get invited They want to be invited to the secret. There's a great, this is a great story. I've mentioned this before. There's a show called Numbers that was on CBS between like 2006 and 2010. And it was like kind of based, like it was about a mathematician who fights crime with his FBI brother. And they have an episode about conspiracy theories where a bunch of people go to it's like a World Economic Forum group that meets in California and basically decides the future of the world. It's like all the rich people get together and decide like public policy and stuff like this. It's not portrayed that simply, but the leader of the group, he's like, we're just civic-minded people who want to see the world do better. And it's totally supposed to, like, it was like Klaus Schwab before Klaus Schwab was like a thing. And they talk about, in the episode, they actually have a thing where two of the characters are arguing about the Kennedy assassination. And they talk about how at the end they just give up on it because it's like they don't want it to ruin their friendship.
Yeah.
Like, because one's like, there couldn't have been a person on the grassy knoll. It's like, there can only be one shooter. And the other guy's like, So they take opposite ends. At the end, they just decide their friendship matters more than arguing about this thing that, and let's face it, the only thing that there was a Dean Hegland, or Hadland, whatever, the guy from the X-Files, who was one of the lone gunmen, had a quote that he was talking about when he did a thing with Kumail Nanjiani on the X-Files podcast. He goes, the sad truth of being a conspiracy theorist is like, if you're right, the only thing you get is an "I told you so."
Right. I mean,
that's all you get. Like, it's like I know this big conspiracy theory. It's all true. It proves to be true, and all you get is "told you." Like
I think conspiracy theorists at the end of the day are actually idealists, and they want the things that they are saying to be false.
Right.
They do. And the people that vehemently deny those things are the most scared.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and let's face it, if you look up, if there's one idea that's been completely destroyed by media culture, it's the idea of conspiracy theories, because now literally everything,
even the term,
literally now. So I'm saying, like, if you look up conspiracy theories, it's like vaccines are good for you, vaccines are bad for you. Like, it's everything is a conspiracy.
Landing,
yeah. Well, no, that's like that is like an example of like an actual thing. Like, I'm talking about things that are like, are there drag queens at schools? It's a conspiracy. Like, literally everything is a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but I think that
because it's used to dilute the information that you're presented.
There's just this like general feeling among Americans that conspiracy is just in our history and our heritage and our bloodlines to a point.
Yeah.
And that's exploited for cheap clicks and art stunts.
Yep.
That don't mean anything. So when we're asking, like, what actually is the message behind showing Jackie Kennedy crawling over the car in a stupid Doja Cat music video?
Yeah.
There's no message. There's no meaning.
That's kind of what I mean.
It's pure absurdity, which is almost worse.
That's kind of what I mean. Like, when I see that stuff, I don't think it symbolizes something greater. If anything, I think it symbolizes something more diluted and like awful.
Like, what is
more shallow?
Oh yeah, all of the evil that has been perpetrated in this country and kept secret from the public, it actually was meant for nothing the whole time. Yeah. There's no meaning behind the suffering caused by that.
Yeah. Johnny Derp,
that's worse than anything.
Johnny Derp says conspiracy theory, inconvenient fact, exposed 6 months to 10 years before it was intended. Yeah, but that's the thing. Right. Now, like, that's what we're learning about, like, political conspiracy theory. It's used to detract and to keep things from coming out about, what did Elon Musk say? Every conspiracy theory about Twitter ended up being true. That's because none of that was a conspiracy theory. They were just ideas people had about the platform based on evidence without a person literally saying, it's like, hi, I am Twitter representative. I am here to confirm that this is or is not officially true.
Yeah.
People need somebody like a guy in a suit to show up in front of a camera that says fact meeting. And then he has to confirm to them, to their face, that it's true or not. Nobody takes information based on evidence anymore, because if you do, you're called a conspiracy theorist.
Well, plus the evidence has to be widely accepted by
the majority
of the population, exactly. Which the majority of the population, well, it's quickly turning, but the suit taker advice people, like, that's becoming less and less. Like, I would consider that the conspiracy at this point. Mm-hmm. Somebody showed up in a suit and was like, this is true. I don't know.
It's like, well, it's like, and now it's like the suit is almost worse.
Right.
Like I was telling people the other day, I got my dad watching Styx Hexenhammer, and that I love the idea that you find more truth in a guy in a bathroom.
Right.
In a glass.
I knew.
In a cup. Than you do like
evil twin Clank.
If anything, the guy in the suit, why is he wearing that costume? Is it supposed to give him more credibility because he's saying it in a suit?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. It's just like the traditional, like, you put a suit on, you get a job. It's like not like that anymore.
It used to represent like honest upward mobility and humility in this country, and now it's everything the opposite.
Right.
But anyway, to get back on track, all I'm hoping is that Doja Cat goes back to looking semi-normal and recognizable as herself. And if she is doing this for humiliation rituals, then I would like that phase of her life to end soon.
Go back to blonde. Go back to blonde. I mean, like long-haired and blonde.
Something other than this.
Look, maybe it's just because of my own past, but when I see a lot of this behavior, the first place my mind goes to is drugs. Immediately, my mind goes to you're out of your gourd on a bunch of, if not psychedelics, you're doing a bunch of heroin, you're doing a bunch of
something.
I think meth for her.
Both like
speculation.
Like that's I mean, I wasn't into conspiracy theories, but like your mind goes to crazy places when you're using and you just happen to be a public figure. It's just going to be a more blatant and out there thing. I knew people that would say stuff that was equally as crazy. They were just saying it in a room that was not nearly as glamorous and not in front of a bunch of adoring fans.
There weren't 5.6 million people liking it and yes.
Exactly. Be careful who you get your information from. They don't need to be in a suit to be telling the truth. And just because they're at home on Instagram Live with 5.6 million people doesn't mean they're credible.
So true.
Yeah.
Let's go to Superchats. Ben DeJesus said eating outside means eating out, like fast food or takeout.
Is that still cheaper?
I get it now. It's like, did she mean
I don't think that's what she meant.
To buy groceries and then take them outside?
I thought she meant to eat the grass.
Eat grass and dirt.
Because she was talking about lettuce,
Okay.
Eating outside, the lettuce grows.
I feel like she wasn't giving it that much thought.
Touch grass. Yeah. Dash Fortune said, 8th vote for speaker currently underway. How many crisis parties to get Carter to serenade Brett? Brett, you got it going on by FOTC? 10 crisis parties official?
I would say 10 because I think the most that we ever had on.
We're already part of the way there.
No, we're not.
If they want it that badly. Mr.
Wait, what do I have to do again?
You have to serenade Brett with.
Is there a specific
Brett,
song?
you got it going on.
Okay, the real question is, does serenade mean like from a distance? Because I'm not taking lap dances.
Is he going to go out the window with a boombox? Like the old times?
Yeah, you could stand outside the window with the boombox.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to draw up some guidelines for this later.
Okay.
There was also somebody in the chat that said, somebody else said that they were a Freemason and that you have to actually ask to become a member of the Freemasons. I wonder if that's true.
Mixed messages here.
It's like the opposite of what I was told.
Okay. Mr. Toad said non-binary of alloy.
Okay, I know this isn't a super chat, but I have to. It says, did Brett drag Mary over the coals for motion smoothing the motion smoothing thing yet? I have no strong opinions one way or the other on motion smoothing.
I tweeted earlier. I'll say it. Motion smoothing is cozy and nostalgic.
What about it makes it cozy and nostalgic?
Because when you go to your family's house for like Thanksgiving, like extended family or your grandparents or whatever who don't know how to turn it off on the TV, it's just like a cozy vibe.
Okay.
What is motion smoothing?
It's sort of like the cozy vibe when you have a slight fever and it's 4 a.m. and you're watching infomercials. Okay. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's a vibe.
When I think of that, I think of like your grandparents thinking you're a wizard because you turned it from HDMI 1 to HDMI 2.
Right.
Like that's like, oh my God, you're basically
motion smoothing is for people who don't know how to turn off motion smoothing, which I find endearing and comforting because it reminds me of like going to the grandparents' house.
You know, there's people that used to edit entire videos on Adobe After Effects. They wouldn't do the editing in Premiere. They would actually edit in After Effects.
I was one of those people.
That's
before I knew how to use Premiere.
You should be committed to an asylum for that,
dude. I still do like Photoshop work and Illustrator because it was the first thing I started using and it just became like really good at it.
Like like the idea of timeline editing in After Effects is literally one of those painful things I can think of.
Yeah.
I don't even, it's literally like not even, unless you actually had to struggle through it or suffer through trying to do it, like there are no words I can put into
Yeah, I can see the trauma in your eyes.
Trauma?
F-Off said, staying at the MGM this weekend for vacation, going to do some MMA for fun. What up, fools? Been a minute. It has been a minute, but thank you for coming back. We missed you. Bad Op said, oh snap, I just tuned in. Hi, Carter. Love you, dog.
Sup, dude?
You guys are
good
BFFs.
to hear from you.
Elijah Borges said, you didn't need to remind anything. I restated the context. Disappointing. It was an important point and went out of my way to make it not respectful. Honestly, I don't even know what she's talking about anymore.
She didn't mean to be disrespectful. And one of the things about the job is, honestly, is like we talk about so much every day that you're kind of so everyone's going to have their topic that they care the most about, right? And they're going to take very serious issue or take very seriously what your opinions are on that issue. But when you're talking about 5, 6, 7 different things, it's like a lot of times you kind of forget where you're going with something. It's not meant to be disrespectful to anyone. I can guarantee you she wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
Hey, someone is okay, Surge is in the chat simping for Carter. Do you see this, Carter?
It's not Surge X, is it?
It's Surge.com.
Nuh-uh.
Surge.com.
It's not
it says
Surge
Carter,
X.
so hot right now.
Surge.com.
Where am I seeing this?
Right up here.
It's up in the chat. Hello, Surge. Shout out.
I have to see with my own eyes.
Tacti Platty said Lauren Boebert is a smoke show. Brett would fully agree with you on that.
Nicole Scherzinger? Yeah. She's all right. She's good.
Lauren Boebert.
Oh, yes. Lauren Boebert is an absolute smoke show. Let's go. Let's,
every time we say smoke show, Chet Hanks is somewhere like
crying. Like, I'm going to
something just feels off all of a sudden.
I'm going to go move into her district just so I can vote for her again.
Yeah.
So I can go vote for her, not again.
Hey, you know what? I have to go back to what I said. I think this super chatter about the Freemasonry is right, and I think I just remembered that oppositely, because in thinking back, this was 10 years ago. I think he's actually right, so
okay,
I was wrong on that.
Corey Anderson said, PCC fans, we need to start a Give, Send, Go so we can pay appearance fees for D-list celebs to show for Friday shows.
I would do. The real question is, what D-list celebs are we talking about here? I want okay.
We need suggestions.
Like there are some of like the conservative Inc. celebrities, not like political conservative Inc., but like the actors. Like I would love to get Kevin Sorbo on here because I'm from Minnesota and Kevin Sorbo's from Minnesota. He played Hercules. And he's very much conservative, and he goes off on Twitter. Hollywood's so woke right now. Like he's that guy, and I love it. Mm-hmm. Be interesting to have him and Lucy Lawless on at the same time because he played Hercules while she was playing Xena, and I think she's kind of woke. So woke.
Hollywood is so woke.
It's so woke right now.
I don't know if you guys knew that, but it is.
If you're listening to the show, did you guys know that Hollywood is like so
this
woke
might be
right
the
now?
First you're hearing of it.
But like Hollywood, oh my gosh, so woke.
So woke. Not Alan Rogers said there are significantly more occult aspects to Catholicism than Freemasonry.
That true?
Probably.
No.
No? I don't know.
Wait, not a
if
cult.
If it is, it's expressly not. It's expressly forbidden.
Surge. Right, yeah, dabbling in the occult is like one of the things you can't do.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do.
Biddy Beastly said, Illuminati's so secretive you can just Google it. Haha, it's obviously a joke. No offense, but that was kind of a brain dead take. What take?
What take?
I don't really know what he means.
I'm
sorry, you guys like send these during like the middle of a segment and then we come to the super chats and I don't even know what you're referring to.
I mean, we do believe that was a joke, but we kind of went into more detail about what we thought it all means beyond just Doja Cat. Mm-hmm. It is funny. Like I can't imagine like going like if it is also a joke. This is the other thing. It's a joke, but it's a bad one because it's like takes explaining,
cringy,
and then like it's like you have your birthday party to own the.
And then you're just acting like an edgy 13-year-old Doja,
which
like,
is. Ugh. I mean, hey, live your best life if that's what you want to do.
I mean, it didn't work when Megan Fox and MGK did it, and it didn't work when Doja Cat did it.
that was worse.
Facts.
Yeah.
Carnell said, Sup Carter, Brett, Mary, and hail crisis actors. If we're on the topic of adding to PCC, might I suggest utilizing the poll feature during the show? on the community tab. We have been like thinking of like questions.
Really,
to ask
I like
you
the
guys.
idea of really easy ones.
We could be like,
I'll
is
do
Hollywood woke? Yes or no? Tell us.
Like-
Do you think Hollywood is getting kind of woke, guys? I've been noticing this lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed this lately.
Were movies better?
Am I alone in this?
Back in the day, yes or no? Like,
I even wish it was the 90s still.
should
I
Spider-Man be a man? Yes or no?
I always thought it was just Spider-Man. That's his last
But
name.
thank you for the suggestion, because now we're more likely to do it, actually. Call for President said, you are mistaken about Freemasonry. The only way to join is ask. I'm in the process of joining because I asked.
Awesome.
Oh, I already.
Let us
did
know
I read that
how
before
it
you?
treats ya.
Yeah, I read it because somebody said it in the regular chat, and then he super chatted.
Oh.
So, call for president. Did you get in? I would like to know.
Not yet.
I
But
was
I
wondering-
heard that they have to like smack you with paddles and stuff.
that-
I don't know if any of that is
Here's
true.
the thing. It
But,
was
like,
going to be a lot. Are we talking about Freemasonry still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be a lot of stuff that I just didn't have the time or care to do.
Do they make you like memorize stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
probably a big
they're like
hassle.
I didn't really even get the beginning of it, but there's like different degrees of
But why
Freemasonry.
did you want to be a Freemason?
Somebody I was friends with was one, and we were trying to make a business together, and he just told me about it. I'm like, how does one become a
If you ever get
Freemason?
arrested and your name is Mason, you've got a golden opportunity to do hashtag Freemason.
So true.
Like,
There's some. I mean, you know, it has the same perks of any secret society, I would imagine.
we should all join the Knights of Columbus. I still have no idea how to join. I just know
you
there
just
was,
have to ask.
there was a
I
Knights
just
of
know everyone in there is above a certain age bracket.
There was they're like
it's not really relevant
I don't
anymore.
wear nearly enough like Old Spice or
Old
Brute
Spice.
to be a
Skull
member
and
of the,
Bones,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Have you seen The Faculty, and have you seen what was the other one? The one with Josh Hartner's in The Faculty. What was the other one? The Skulls?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, secret societies, colleges, it's a big deal back in the day.
Yeah, I was like talking to a guy in a frat once, and I was like,
I mean,
don't you
frats are
guys have
basically-
to like learn a bunch of weird rituals and like spank each other? And he was like, it's all true.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're
so
like, what?
So I am a Sigma Chi. Actually, no one knows this, but I went through
Hmm.
the pledgeship, and I was an active member at Texas Tech.
Okay.
In 2009, none of that shit. We didn't do any of that stuff.
Maybe you were a fake member. Maybe they
Maybe.
just maybe they didn't let you in. Like,
I mean,
like guys, like you weren't Greek enough for them.
Okay.
So,
we did not do any.
so you were a
spanking.
Sigma male before Sigmas were even a thing.
True. DD Mega Doo 97 said, did you know the Freemasons fire symbolic cannons at the Vatican annually? I have no proof, but it sounds about right.
I
They're
love
merely symbolic war.
symbolic cannons.
Symbolic acts of war.
The next best thing is going to be when we start having secret, like when you have to apply to be in like a metaverse secret society.
Oh no.
Like, so you can be a Freemason. Like, you don't qualify for Freemason in like
Just
in the
stop
real
giving
world,
them ideas.
but you can be a Freemason in the metaverse, a meta mason.
Let's move on before they get any ideas. Tacti Platy said, Nicole Scherzinger is a smoke show. That is all.
She is.
I can't even remember who started That Is All at this point.
It's been a while.
Kind of a thing now.
Let's
Biddy
do
Beastly.
One more, and then we got a couple more, and then we'll
Okay.
move on.
Biddy Beastly said, sorry, almost lost my cool there. The Grinch.
Just lost my
Whoa.
cool there.
Wow,
That was
a
a good one.
lot of money.
That was a good one.
Johnny Derp said, use well-meaning people as your front. Do a few good works in public. That's all it takes to hide a secret society in plain sight. That is all.
I mean, NGOs.
So true.
Yeah.
Let's save the rest. We will move on.
Okay.
All right, so guys, Gabrielle Union, she has female privilege, but she wants male privilege. That's what it is. So basically, she admitted in an interview that she felt entitled to cheat in her first marriage with Chris Howard. Called it dysfunctional. Basically, she paid the bills. I don't know why. If she was a pro football player, why wouldn't they both pay the bills?
And by that, she means she exclusively paid all the bills.
Yeah. So it says
Like, that's odd.
She is speaking about her dysfunctional marriage, and then she says, when Shepard brought up his past infidelities, Union remarked, "In our first marriage, neither one of us felt like the marriage should get in the way of our dating." Just remember, these are the people that want to give you advice on how to live your life. Gabrielle Union is married to Dwayne Wade. They have the trans son. Well, it's a stepson, but like it's
heard about it.
Like you're taking your advice from people with these relationships. It says a part of it was like keeping up with his activities. Like, oh, that's what you're doing. You're going to feel this one. I feel entitled to it as well. I mean, this is kind of like when somebody does something bad, you feel like instead of just breaking up with them, you do it too. That's not really how the world's supposed to work. When somebody does something bad, yes, it is extremely childish behavior. But it's like this is not an uncommon thing that you see in a lot of videos like this, where they talk about things like, oh, well, he was distant. Like that's the thing about women, like not Andrew Tate, but a lot of those videos, like he was being distant. My needs weren't being met. My needs weren't being met, so I felt entitled to cheat.
Some of this comes from an independent women discourse that's been actually being pushed in culture since the 90s, maybe even earlier.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, Destiny's Child, anyone?
Yep.
Like, this is a thing that it's been in culture since before wokeness was even called wokeness.
Long before.
And if you like generate that kind of resentment between the sexes, this is where you end up. And I think way too many people take relationship advice from celebrity relationships.
She got her own house, got her own car. Work hard, 2 cars.
I mean, even Jennifer Lopez singing "My Love Don't Cost a Thing." Like, of course, your love don't cost a thing. Yeah, but you're a multimillionaire.
But I think about like it's like you hear somebody say something like that, and then whenever what's his name would interview women, they'd be like, why should high value men like you? And they're like, I got my own money. They're like, yeah, they don't care. They don't care if you have
it's a high value man, then he would have
high value.
Just as much
money. Like if he doesn't want you to have your own money. He wants you to take care of the home. Like that's like they fundamentally don't understand that the message they were fed in the 90s doesn't actually equate to what somebody of means would want. It's obviously a little bit different when we're talking about middle income nowadays. That's always a fantasy because most couples these days can't afford to have just one person working anyes.
Right.
Like
that's not the world anymore.
It's not the world anymore.
I saw a tweet recently that was like, when I was growing up, when I saw like movies and TV shows, it just became my dream to be an independent woman living in a city apartment with my own 9-to-5 where I get to go home and just relax on my couch with a glass of wine.
Sex in the City.
Exactly.
It's like literally poisoned a generation of people against having families.
This is your dream, your ultimate dream of life?
Yeah.
And then when you eventually get there, because it is possible,
you
realize it's very underwhelming.
It's like, now what?
Yeah, there's always a now what. There isn't
the part after that the episode.
So he says, sounds like Brett is a Fresh and Fit fan. I'm not. I don't listen to Fresh and Fit. I listened to some of the there was a guy named Donovan Sharp that would have these really funny videos roasting this one particular feminist journalist that I would get a huge kick out of. But in general, like that stuff is very, very bad for your brain as a guy if you don't like quill it with real world experiences, because it's all theory. And in practice, the real world is so very different from most of how that stuff is pitched to you. But she goes on. She says, while they were together, the Bring It On star additionally confessed that she was horny for validation and having certain kinds of guys like me and want me. The 50-year-old actress continued to get candid about her relationship with the 47-year-old ex-NFL player, noting that the pair were just dysfunctional from day one, adding that a therapist told them that she didn't understand how toxic their relationship resulted in marriage in the first place. So it's like, is it weird to think that somebody could feel entitled to cheating to you? Like in the culture we live in today?
If the person asked, like, and they communicated that these needs weren't being met to their partner multiple times and the other person wasn't like willing to meet them halfway or even try, then I can see that being a logical argument.
It's like, but again,
maybe not an excuse, but an explanation. But again, like, people really are tricked into believing celebrity lifestyles reflect their own.
They're just like you. Celebrities, they're just like us. There they are out getting froyo. They're just like you.
And it's just not the case. And you can't be taking advice from them.
No.
Especially about interpersonal relationships when we know celebrities are some of the most narcissistic, maladjusted people in society.
It wasn't even the quote. These weren't even the quotes that made me want to cover this, even tangentially. It was this one. The Bad Boys 2 actress went on to say that she wished she had more guilt about her past infidelity. She wished she felt worse about it.
That's fucked up.
Like, okay, it's like, what more is there to say other than what the hell? Like, it's like, it's like, it's kind of like, isn't that kind of the definition of sociopathy in a way? Like, I wish I felt worse about doing this awful thing. I guess not really, because it's just vindictive. The sociopath wouldn't even care to entertain the idea. But it says it was such a stupid relationship that she should never have should have gotten out of the dating phase. I just think about, because Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade are always in the media now talking about what's going on with their family and stuff like that. And
when they know that they're getting immense amounts of scrutiny for it, so they're just addicted to the negative attention. Thank you, guys.
I saw we had 3, and it was a delayed reaction. I'm like, I didn't realize we had 3 Christmas parties. Whoa.
You seen The Mask? Have you seen The Mask?
Yeah, of course. Dude, Jim Carrey is like my favorite actor.
Dude, Serge is still simping for you
in
the chat.
I saw that.
Like,
it made me smile. Like, Serge, you're flattering me.
I was trying
Don't make me blush.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain to someone, like somebody who said that like Cameron Diaz wasn't a big deal back in the 90s. I'm like, well, you clearly never saw her introduction in The Mask.
Oh, man.
In the red dress, going into the bank in the rain. Oof.
She was great in The Mask. I didn't really think she was that, incredibly hot in other movies after that.
It was like that was it. Like,
I don't know.
Or not
she
that was
peaked
it,
in The Mask.
She
for sure.
was like, well, there's like, I don't think I even remember. I couldn't pick out a single scene of the Charlie's Angels movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
she was in other stuff too,
with
right?
Adams or with
Ben Stiller.
With Ben Stiller,
something about Mary.
There's something about Mary,
right?
Yeah, so
classic.
It's just remember, guys, that the celebrities. It should be the same with everyone. Like, don't take advice. Like, a lot of people ask nowadays, like, who are the heroes of people? Like, who are your heroes? And I notice very few people actually list like their people they know. Like, I'll still remember, like, the day I quit Facebook was the day some guy's like, yeah, I look up to, like, real heroes like Stacey Abrams. And I'm like, that's enough internet for me to, that was one of those days where I'm like,
satire.
I was like, no, it was not satire. Yeah. It was like, they were arguing about whether Gina Carano was a hero for what she did with Disney. And he was like, I look up to real people like Stacey Abrams. I'm like, well, how about this? I'll concede and say maybe Gina Carano isn't a hero if you concede and say that Stacey Abrams definitely is not a hero to anyone. Like, it's like, look to people in your own life who have
take no for an answer,
who you've actually had real world experiences with and can understand a little bit of what their life experience has been before you commit to the idea that some person is worthy of looking up to. Like, don't look up to me, please. I mean, I'm not saying people are looking up to him. I'm saying, like, if there are people that you know parasocially or on the internet and you think they're good people, they might be, but don't look up to people without a lot more context as to who they are.
I see the same weird, uncomfortable battle of the sexes energy.
Yep.
Around Miley Cyrus these days
with Liam
Hemsworth. She releases this comeback revenge single on his birthday with lyrics that are like, I can love me better, and it's just like so try hard and cringy, and makes like this subtle reference to this appearance they made on the red carpet when they were together, where she basically started grinding on him in public, and it was really awkward, and she was definitely in the wrong.
Hasn't
he
she
seemed
done that to
visibly
a lot of people?
uncomfortable. I mean, to like maybe when she was a lot younger, but like I don't feel like you should be doing that on a red carpet, especially when the other person is visibly uncomfortable with the situation. And then all of these girls were replying to the clip saying like, wow, she really needed someone who understood her better and her sense of humor and stuff. And like, he was just being so shallow. And
you can't win.
He just didn't even care about her at all. Like, you really don't know what their relationship was like, let alone should you care.
I mean, we're kind of guilty. Like, we have to do that with the job. Like, we're like psychoanalyzing this stuff. It's like,
That's
we really?
one thing. But I don't
really
sit
know?
around in my free time thinking about Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
and why do we have to make everything into like a vindictive like right fight of who like wins out with the power? It's like,
this is why men never want to give up the patriarchy, because they don't want to be made out with on the red carpet.
I swear most of the discourse these days on the internet is about men hate women, women hate men, and everything is just shit.
Yeah, like
it's very black-pilled.
It's very like most of the humor that I see, like it's actually the stuff I like the least of the, like I like a lot of Instagram because of the way that people can introduce humor in like their own way, and the stuff between the sexes always comes across as very like low IQ. Like most of it feels very low IQ to me. I mean, it's true. Like the funny thing is most of the observations from both sides have a grain of truth to them. Yeah. They're just, it's hyperbole turned up to 11 because that's how the humor works.
Just talking
and
over
so
each other.
You just have to be honest with yourself. Do I not like this because it's not true, or do I not like this because they're poking fun at me?
I don't like it because it's corny.
Exactly.
Like, no one should be that obsessed with talking about dating, relationship dynamics.
Like, I would even love to do like I think like that would be a segment where they just like me finding stuff that's just.
We just slowly morph into Pearly.
Yeah, no, not even. I'm saying like more like social media stuff, like reviewing stuff that we find on Instagram.
Yeah, I'd like an example of one of these. If y'all have one on hand, which you probably don't.
To answer your question, Pearly is just, she's a YouTuber and she talks a lot about this type of subject, like dating, relationship, economy, almost.
Yeah, it's like her. There's a couple of them. Sarah Dawn Moore.
Oh, okay.
Pearly.
It's kind of a thing this around now.
It's like
Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit.
Okay, yeah.
All that.
I mean, that's
stuff,
all.
And it just gets
the manosphere.
tired. Like it just. Like, everything's been said. We know things are bad right now.
Yeah. Okay, then here.
Celebrities are definitely doing nothing to make it better.
Well, Gabrielle Union is doing nothing to make it better by saying that she felt.
Even publicizing this story is wild.
Yeah, is that weird? Like yes. I can't imagine. Like it's one of the reasons I would never want to be a public figure. Like I say, like I would never want to feel like somebody was entitled to this story from me. If I was her. Or if I was her ex-husband, I wouldn't want somebody to feel like they were entitled to sharing that story, and I wouldn't share that story.
Yeah, like with Miley Cyrus, no sense of boundaries. With Gabrielle Union, again, no sense of boundaries, privacy, decency, civility, anything. It's all out the window.
Did you watch the Sydney Watson and Pearly thing on Vice? Somebody just mentioned it.
But I've been told it's interesting, so maybe I will.
Yeah.
I've seen like
all those
30-second clip or two.
I hate those Vice panels. Like all the Vice panels are
even just
really
the fact
cringy.
that they're lined up, not even facing each other, says a lot.
Yep.
They're all facing the front, so they're not looking
this.
each other in the eye. They're making their eye rolling. Yep. They're scoffing at each other.
What's this about?
It was like it was feminists and what do you call it?
It was like all feminists and like two non-feminists.
Yeah, like I guess
all women.
Technically, they'd be called men's rights activists in a lot of ways. Sydney Watson has done a lot of great, like in-depth videos about the men's rights within the legal system and things like that. Like they've done legitimate work there.
Yeah, I like her stuff.
Like it's good, but it's like that. Those videos, like you said, I think that speaks a lot to it. The fact that they don't look at each other and acknowledge each other's humanity. You don't actually get a chance to have an actual discussion because you're facing forward. You're not facing each other. They did the same thing when they did like liberals and conservatives.
In the dark room with
yeah.
At least then they're facing each other in those videos instead of like a school assembly.
Those panels are just they all feel very put together and fake.
We should go to Super Chats now. Bobcat said, "Remember, the only way to tell the truth about many things is to put it in fiction. Look at just about every book I've recommended to you guys." Okay. That's often true. Mark Rice said, "The Freemasons are at civil war between the askers and the inviters." Wow, we're like learning about Freemasonry.
Okay. So it's like that's like there's like a whole
I talk about this on the
like
show.
I love that the sub section of the sub culture. Like there's a civil war going on, and it's between this small corner of this and this small corner of this.
The chat's been all Freemasonry since last I checked in on it.
I love it.
John Ruck said, "When does the Queen come off the currency and King on?"
Oh, is that going to happen? Is that going to happen?
Oh, King Charles.
They're going to put him on the currency?
I don't know. I guess so.
Well, do we put new presidents on our currency and then get rid of the old currency?
No, but they have different customs.
Monarchists, am I right?
Hey, there's something to be said
What if
for
they get
it.
a trans queen?
Mary's very pro-monarchy.
Drag queen.
I like him. He's got good vibes.
Hashtag monarchy Mary.
Shunrazig said, Mary, you can call me Arby's. I've got enough meat to go around.
I can't believe you read that one.
Lame.
Thoughts on Arby's? There's a YouTuber named...
The worst fast food.
Really?
Used to be good. I liked
it. By far.
I love Arby's.
Literally would never
It's not
go
even
there.
real food.
It's weird that it's a roast beef sandwich. It's not roast beef.
I lived...
not recognizable as food.
Right.
I lived in this amazing pocket of space where there was a... You know how like you'd go to the mall and there'd be a Sbarro there?
Yeah.
I lived in a place where there was an Arby's Sbarro, not in a mall. Just there. On the street, you could get Sbarro.
Both?
It's an Arby's
kind of like a KFC Taco Bell.
Yeah, but they're like in the same.
McKinney.
Like one counter was here, one counter was here, and
I like
day,
Sbarro.
And I didn't start even going to the Arby's until they got rid of the Sbarro.
Oh man.
Sbarro's great. Where do they go? I've
never seen a standalone Sbarro.
There's still Sbarro in the malls.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Nowhere to be seen. Bjorg with Pipe said PCC Movie of the Month Club. Well, what would this be?
I have so many movies that I could like. I don't bring my.
Would it
list
be like
upstairs.
new movies, or do they mean like anything?
I think maybe anything. If you haven't seen The Hurricane starring Denzel Washington, watch The Hurricane starring Denzel Washington. It would be annoying today because it's a story about racial injustice, but it's amazingly well done. And it's really touching. I love that movie. I recommend everyone go. It's about a boxer who was falsely arrested for a crime he didn't commit.
I'm trying to think of the last movie I watched. I was supposed to have seen Puss in Boots and Babylon over the weekend.
Couldn't do it.
The movie theater was closed. Tacti Platy said, make a poll about liking avocados, yes or no.
The real question is it really is it the Freemasons, is it the Illuminati, or is it Big Avocado that's driving all of this? Is that really what's going on right now?
They're the puppet masters.
That, by the way, I would like to know who's in charge of Big Avocado. Like, is there one person in charge of Big Avocado?
Tacti Platy knows.
Nick Avocado.
Or is it, do they have a board of directors? Or is it
Tell
just
us.
one person?
Tacti Platy, you're the expert. Elijah Borges said pro-choice would actually mean men don't have to support impending family they don't want as their equivalent right
to restate
the point. I'm not interested in having a conversation about abortion on the show, to be honest.
Maybe on a special episode.
Maybe you should go to IRL. They talk about that stuff.
They love that stuff over there. It was really funny, guys. I don't know if Elijah was here when Seamus was on, but that was a day.
That was a spicy show.
That was a spicy show, and it was because it was the day of Roe v. Wade. And I'm like, welcome to Pop Culture Christ. And Seamus was like, and let's talk about abortion.
Yeah. Lane gave us a thumbs up. Thank you. Surge.com said free Cobra.
Yes. Free Andrew Tate. Let him out.
We don't even know if he's free yet or not.
Free tater tot, I say.
John Ruck said, is it money or miney? Don't mind me.
I get it.
I don't.
It's miney.
There's nothing to get.
I don't get it. Okay. Nathan Koss said, is it wrong to be satisfied with mediocrity?
That would be an interesting debate to have.
I know what side you would be on, Brett.
What you do? What side would I be on?
You'd be on the side of being okay with mediocrity. Over being
What
hated.
insult is that?
Let me no.
He walked out of Black Adam and was like, that was great. Like, I'm sorry.
Let me give a very weird answer here. This is one of those things. It's the duality of man. I believe that there's an argument to be made to what you just said. But if I read somebody who explicitly says something like "be okay with being mediocre," I would be annoyed by it.
I'm talking as far as entertainment. It takes way less to keep you entertained.
There's an Alan Watts video. Maybe it wasn't Alan Watts. It was something else where they're like, it was about embracing like the fact that you're not everybody is meant to be some type of extraordinary person, and that's okay. Which is a good message to have. Like to have a successful, fulfilling life, you don't need to be like a one of a kind, solve all the world's problems type of guy, right? Just you can be you. and have a successful life that you can be happy with. But the idea of it being phrased as like being mediocre, is like being okay with mediocrity, is inherently like not the best way to phrase that.
You got to define mediocrity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. People have been talking about how Gen Z is happy to have a 9-to-5 and not have an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes.
That they want to make their own hours and everything.
But then you can't complain if you can't, like, it's like, okay, fine. You don't want to be an entrepreneur. You don't want to go on and build your wealth. Fine. But then don't complain when you are in the same place 40 years from now and blame it on the system. I do believe there's a lot of I sounded Canadian there for a second there. I do believe there's a lot of personal responsibility that comes into that, where it's like, sure, you had the right to not work harder off the clock.
Sure.
But you don't have the right to then complain and blame everyone else but yourself for that.
Right.
Well, at the same time, I think that previous generations were able to, for instance, work at the same company for like decades and still build an immense amount of wealth that is just not possible to build these days.
No. Then I say, except that reality has changed. Dwelling on the fact that it's not the same as it was 30.
Be a man.
Be a man. Yeah, that guy. He had one. He's like, don't say happy holidays. Say Merry effing Christmas. Be a man.
Be a man. Not Ellen Rogers said, you heard about your boy Zach? Turns out there's some video evidence of him liking to watch.
What?
I don't know what any of this means.
I love Zach. It's a YouTuber he has a channel called Comics Matter. It's easily my favorite. I don't even think I mentioned him yesterday. He is the one YouTuber that I watch all his videos, all of them. Okay. And he has a great way of his brain works kind of the way mine does. Like he's like, I'm going to talk about this, and then he goes and talks about something completely differently that has nothing to do with it. But then he pulls it. He's better than I am at pulling it back and relating it to what he's talking about. I'm not very good at that, but my brain resonates with that way of talking. But I don't know if he means like he likes to watch. I don't want to know. I don't need to know about his personal life.
I'm confused.
See, he was a very early on in the days of like when comics YouTube was blowing up with all the anti-SJW stuff. He was criticizing Captain Marvel and Riri Williams and all these characters and calling out all the BS. And the comic industry, like the mainstream comic industry, treated him like he was Voldemort.
Okay, but what is the super chat saying?
I'm
Googling it.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Leave me out of it.
Dash Fortune said, FOTC is Flight of the Conchords. You'll love it. Cheers, everyone.
I never saw Flight of the Conchords. People love that show.
Waffle Sensei said, that Vice panel was awesome, and the back and forth between Sydney and the other girls on Twitter has been lit. I endorse checking it out.
It's just not my type of thing.
It was pretty heated.
It's, I imagine that Pearly and Sydney came with way more facts.
Yeah.
Like, Pearly's always there with some statistic that I'm just, I'm assuming is true, but it's like one of those things, like, if you say it with enough truth, like, it's like if you say it, like, firmly enough to just assume it's true. I'm sure she came with all the facts, and the other ladies came with nothing but feelings.
Sure. So. Tacty Platty said, get Sydney on the show. That would be fun.
That'd be fun. Just tall lady.
Yeah. Mark Rice said the avocados from Mexico are under the purview of the cartels.
Oh, I said that.
Conflict.
I had a feeling those
avocados are best avocados.
So it's like conflict diamonds, but conflict avocados. So would that be blood avocados?
I don't know.
Okay.
Elijah Borges said, Mary mentioned abortion yesterday, hence my comments.
Yep. Well,
I literally don't remember anything we talked about if it's the day before.
What were we talking about that it would have been involved in abortion? I don't know.
I literally don't even remember what the topics were. Toy News Quarterly said movie of the week start at 1980, next 81, 82, etc.
Oof, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I have a friend who makes lists based on like the year that movies come out and stuff like that. It's go watch Demolition Man if you've never seen Demolition Man.
Go with the most popular film of that year.
Yeah. There's some, like, I always recommend go watch Rad if you can find it, the biking movie from 1986. It's great.
All right, we're finally caught up on Super Chats now.
All right.
We're about to talk about Taylor Swift's cat.
Yes.
Weirdly obscure, but this cat is definitely wealthier than
all of us put
all
together,
of you watching, and all of us put together
500 times over.
Yes. This cat is the third richest pet in the world, worth $97 million. According to whom?
Taylor Swift just gives the cat. Aren't there stories in the past of like famous people, like rich people, leaving their cats their money in the will, or leaving their pets the money in the will?
How is that even possible?
And then it ends up going to court because the family obviously is like they shouldn't be able to do that.
Her name is Olivia Benson. LOL, so Law and Order fan.
Of course, she likes SVU. If Taylor Swift wanted to be cool, she would have liked Criminal Intent.
So true. But the cat's cute. Not gonna lie, I like how stupid it looks.
Reminds me of my cat, Leonidas.
Okay, sorry
like,
for insulting.
That looks like a cat.
No, he's fat.
Like I love the little folded ears. I love cats and dogs also that just look totally like just there's nothing behind the eyes.
Bokus could use $97 million.
This cat won a bronze medal on a rich pet list created by All About Cats, where they rate the highest net worth cats in the world.
So you can make money just by being rich.
So
let me look at this.
Here's where the Marxists are probably right? Like they're
as a cat.
They're like the Marxists are like, well, if anything's going to cause society to rise up, it's $97 million net worth pets.
That's also the most emo picture of Taylor Swift I've ever seen. That must be like 2007 MySpace.
She's starred along Taylor in several music videos, has crafted her own merch line, and has had cameos in many big budget ads,
well, that's true.
including for Diet Coke and Ned sneakers. Only before them is a dog named Gunther the Sixth that has a net worth of $500 million, and then Nala Cat, which has $100 million.
Who's Nala Cat?
Runner-up
like
for Nala Cat, which is the cat food brand.
Ah, okay, so it's the cat. Well, I wonder where Spot from Target, the dog from Target, ranks.
Oh yeah, haven't they switched out who that dog is over time? Like I'm sure
I haven't
have.
seen a
or
dog
the
in a
Aflac
while.
duck.
Like best treated dogs and cats in the world.
The Spot from Target flies first class everywhere he goes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's like, but they've like switched dogs over time.
But the Aflac duck, I think they've replaced that duck a few times. Like it's a different duck after a period of time. Like
a duck model.
Yeah, basically.
You know, there's like one Indian elephant that they use for.
If she's paying the cat, it just sounds like
weddings.
money laundering or a weird type of like account shifting.
Booked.
And then there's this celebrity Pomeranian named Jif, who I kind of like. I just love stupid looking dogs and cats.
Little dogs are demons.
Not all of them.
They're all demons.
Some of them are really like
I hate
calm.
dogs.
Maybe this would be a time to update people on Bokus.
Yeah.
Tim gave a bit of an update the other night. Said that I guess Ian is looking into stem cells. Other people were saying they should try red light therapy for Bokus, but when I'd handed Bokus back to Tim to bring back to the other property, like he seemed like he was in better spirits, and we all keep Bokus in our prayers. And here's the thing: when I first kind of took over Bokus's care for a while, you know, like I bought my alarm set for his food. I mean, it's not like you ever need to remember.
I know you're concerned,
but like if the house was too quiet for too long, I would go searching for Bokus to make sure he was still around.
Right.
And then, like, after I gave him, I was like, you give Bokus back, and you're like, oh, it's like I don't have to take care of him anymore. But within, like, a couple hours, I'm like, the house is too quiet.
Right.
I want Bokus back in the house so that Bokus can come back and be around.
This does, like, kind of make me wish that Bokus had a litter of kittens at one point in his life. Yeah. Maybe he already has. Maybe we have no idea. And there's some mother cat out there.
Is he still going to pick out an heir?
I don't know about that.
I know that's morbid to think about. But.
Waffle Sensei says tax the rich cats.
The richest cats.
AOC is right.
So true.
So just remember, guys, Taylor Swift, if you ever think that Taylor Swift is for the people, she has a cat that is worth $97 million. They're laughing at you.
What if she sold it? Wouldn't that be really messed up?
With the net worth.
For $97,000 or million, yeah.
Well, someone asked, like, is she paying her cat?
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like money laundering to me. It's like some type of weird
Wait a second.
scheme.
How? Yeah, right?
Yeah. This is gonna
Does
send
this cat
Taylor
have a
to
bank
prison.
account? Like,
this is white collar crime.
It is. White
Kinda
collar
I could say
crime.
my cat is worth every bit of the taxes that I,
Also, that will there are a lot of. That's another one of my guilty pleasures is animal Instagram. Like any of the ones where they do like voices over animals, like where it's like a guy pretending to be an animal. It's like it's like an animal, but somebody's voicing it over and like pretending like it's talking.
Is that real, Balenciaga?
Balenciaga.
Man,
So, yeah.
you know what I hate though is when they do that with babies. Like, I hate those commercials so much.
That's different.
Yeah.
It's funnier with pets. So, all right, we got a couple of super chats there before we go.
Yes. Bad App said, Florida Mall in Orlando, Sbarro, Taco Bell, Boba Tea, and Chick-fil-A Toots, the 4 major food groups.
Is that all 4?
Boba Tea is definitely one of my major food groups. I have way too much of it. John Ruck said, Queen 100% coming off Currency and King On. Just thought you may have known when being pop culture. Happy to see y'all growing in the Timcast family.
That's actually a really interesting point to make because the royal family is really considered pop culture. Like Newsweek in particular, like you get through their main headlines on their culture page and the rest of it's all the royals. For me, like my mom loved Princess Diana, and Princess Diana kind of transcended the UK and was a huge cultural icon here in America. It was actually kind of a big deal. Like when my mom passed, I went through and I was going through her stuff and I was moving stuff around. I found like she had like 2 of the Princess Diana Beanie Babies.
Those are probably worth a lot of money.
I think there was a lot of them. Like I looked on like
really?
eBay, they weren't worth a ton of money, but
okay.
it was more like I kept one of them and put it in storage just because she loved it. The other one I gave away. But it's like, you know, the royals. It's like there's people who there's a whole culture around the royals that you'd have to get caught up on. And like I also love because it's all pretentiousness and arguments now. It's all Harry and Meghan disgraced the crown. Royal expert confirms.
Yeah, it's mostly about them at this point.
I was like, how do you confirm what a royal expert is? Like, how do you become a royal expert, and is that an actual job title? Also, the other thing is like the last thing I remembered was even before Meghan was that Kate Middleton seemed like a good pick, and that was like the last thing I remembered about the royals. So
yeah, unrelated though. Aren't Beanie Babies like the original NFTs?
Kind of, yeah. It was like it became its own special thing. I remember I did like a deep dive into this one day, like how like originally like when the misprints would happen, that's how you'd get like the rare Beanie Babies, and then you can kind of commodify your own industry by purposely making misprints.
Right, because you can break a Beanie Baby in several different ways. And pretend it's a misprint.
My mom we had like a Beanie Baby store.
Really?
I mean, they sold more than Beanie Babies, but that was like their big sell was Beanie Babies and yo-yos.
I thought you said you and your mom ran a Beanie Baby store.
No, it's like we had like a Beanie Baby by our house.
Yeah, I remember I had a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't think they're worth anything now.
I also found my old Nano Fighter. It was like a Tamagotchi that you could connect with another Tamagotchi.
Oh,
and they
no
would fight.
way.
They would fight.
Dude, do you remember Tamagotchis? That
Yes.
was so dumb.
I still have one.
Do you really?
Yeah, I still have one. I mean, it doesn't work anymore, but I never. Yeah. My mom never threw anything away.
I still have all my Pokemon cards, and I have all of them.
All of them?
And they're all in mint condition.
I had a friend who bought and resold Pokemon cards, and he told me that he had thousands of dollars worth of rare Pokemon cards.
So do I. I have a $4,000 Bulbasaur misprint of some kind, and then the Scythe that is a first edition, but not holographic. It's weird.
I have a friend he's a teacher. He runs a successful skating YouTube channel. I mean, by skating standards, it's still small, but he runs a very successful Beanie Baby YouTube channel that none of us knew about. He casually slipped it into the conversation one day, and I went there. It's got 90,000 subscribers, and I was just he goes to conventions for Pokemon cards and stuff like that.
Really?
And it was one of those things where it felt like I was in the middle of a fever dream, where one day I find out he's got an alternate life that I've never known about. I've known him for years. Very, very weird, but cool. Very cool. There's a couple more there.
Carnell said, Carter, could you please make a short 5-second jingle for Brett and his new long-awaited PCC segment titled Brett Recommends?
Yes. I actually just made a note on my phone here.
Okay.
Brett
Crisis Party Scream and Brett Recommends 5-second theme song.
Okay.
Perfect.
Caber2X said, hey, PCC peeps, Jax got engaged. Congrats.
Who's Jax?
Who?
He's the guy from Mortal Kombat with the 2 arms that are metal.
Well, yeah, I know who Jax is, but are we talking about Jax as in because Jax in the new movie was played by Mehcad Brooks. I don't know if maybe Mehcad Brooks got married, or if we're talking about in canon, Jax got married.
There's a couple more.
We need a specification.
Bad App said, what's your boba tea order, though? I get a coffee flavor if it's available. If it's not, then I just get like a normal milk tea. And I never get coffee jelly or any of those like popping bubbles, any of that. I just get a huge extra amount of tapioca pearls because I love them. I even bought some dried tapioca pearls so I can make my own. Yeah. DD Mega Doodoo 97 said Thai tea over boba, and the best Thai tea is from Bosco's Diner in Victorville, California.
Okay. Also in the chat, I think they were talking about Jax. He's finally getting married to Sonia.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought that was a joke. I was being totally sarcastic.
I have no idea if that's actually like.
I don't know.
That's another it's really funny. Mortal Kombat has a super devoted following.
Really?
So, I mean, the games do obviously, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was like a couple months back. I spent a weekend and I watched the Mortal Kombat, like those short Mortal Kombat 15. They weren't even 15. They're like 5-minute shorts, and they made it into like a series. It was like a web series back in the early 2000s, and it's so unpretentious and awesome. It's so good. So there's a couple more there.
Bobcat asks, when is Brett going back to blonde?
Look,
Tell us.
The last time that we talked about this, I made like the joke about when we get 30, however many crisis parties again, and somebody goes, duh, so much amount of money just to dye his hair blonde. I'm like,
it's kind of a big deal. Like when you do it, I don't know.
Well, and I was like, you guys asked.
Yeah, I mean, and you got what you paid for. Yeah. To be fair.
So, they're saying Brett believes everything he reads in the chat. No, I just don't have time to check context in the midst of what we're doing right now. So that's a very large one right there.
Whoa.
Okay. Bad App said, were you the nerd that got scammed on the playground and traded your Charizard for a Diglett?
Did you?
Oh, man. No, me? No. Yeah. They banned Pokemon trading from my elementary school.
That's hilarious. What?
Because everyone was just getting too into it.
It's too much like gambling to be safe. Waffle Sensei said, random shout out to Chris B from the Timcast news team. Great articles, but most importantly, he is the funniest member of the crew on Twitter.
Dude, Twitter humor is actually a skill.
I'm starting to learn it. I just started using Twitter this year.
Yeah.
It's very different than real life.
I like Twitter. I know this is like a controversial thing to say, but I really like Twitter. I don't know what the problem
liking
is.
It.
What's wrong with it?
I don't have a problem
It's
with
always
Twitter.
been fun.
Do you have a problem with Twitter?
A lot of people are just like, I hate Twitter. Everything is so divisive and whatever. And it's just that's the fun of it.
That's the point, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're up with Super Chats.
All right. And yes, shout outs to Chris B. Chris Bourbon, the man. All right, Carter, man, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Let everyone know. Or if you have any, I mean, we kind of got a musical update earlier.
Yeah, we got a little bit of an update. Really, we're just trying to find our sound right now. This year is going to be huge. 2023. Last year I made kind of like a roadmap to what I wanted to get done, and that all happened last year. And now I'm making that roadmap right now for 2023. Did I say 2023
That's
twice?
The one.
What I meant was
guys, did you see it? His brain just shut off. He's Illuminati. Did you see that?
I just had one of those glitches.
He glitched.
Caught on camera.
Don't tell anyone.
Let everyone know they can find you, man.
It's Carter 30 or 50. I'm 32. You can find me on social media at Carter Banks. Instagram is Carter Banks 4L, like for life. Follow Trash House Records and Timcast Music on YouTube. You can also follow Carter Banks on YouTube.
Oh, here's one. Here's one. I think this one's 110% true, since they said I believe everything that I read on the chat. Touchy subject says Tom McDonald is my cousin. Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 plus a reference to Ronald McDonald. You're welcome. There's some inside baseball for you. Is that true?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Now that's just going to be the chat. Now it's going to be people saying stuff that's not true, so I can see if it's true or not. So
I mean, he just combined two different people's names, first and last, to make like a... That's it.
Make like a stop.
I don't know.
He he just glitched again.
Another
guys.
glitch, man.
He's clearly Illuminati. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Mary, where can they find you?
Okay. You can find some pictures of me on Instagram at Mary Archived. I'm not on there much. I'm trying to be better about it. And Twitter, also Mary Archived. Again, trying to be more active on there, but it's hard to say anything without you guys getting angry at me. I didn't think the motion smoothing take was that controversial.
Very controversial.
Go argue with me on Twitter at Mary Archived. Argue with me about motion smoothing. Do it.
Thoughts?
Let's get into it.
There's one more super chat there.
Yes. Porco Rosa Forever said, great Simpsons line. Dad, I'm so hungry. I could eat at Arby's.
Look, earlier, the only reason I brought that up earlier is because there's a YouTuber that I love named Comics by Perch, and he has like an inside joke on his channel where he's just on this tirade against Arby's as it's the worst fast food in the history of the world, and people just get on him about it, and I'm just like, I love Arby's. So
I used to love it too. I don't know what happened.
Now I want some. Now I want some right
too.
now. All right, there's one more there.
Bad Up said, bring back Crabcore, Carter.
You
Can
got
you single-handedly bring back Crabcore?
I think, honestly, we could.
I don't even know what that is.
Big potential.
Crabcore is like, it's when they're... It's really hard to explain, but it looks like a...
It originated from Attack Attack, right?
It did.
So, they're playing the guitar and they're walking.
So it's like the breakdowns when you get down and you're, like, squatting and you're like...
Yeah, they're squatting.
Crabcore.
All right.
Like a crab.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before you go, could you please hit the like button on the video? It helps us so much. Leave a comment on the video, not just in the live chat, but on the actual video. And subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to us yet at Pop Culture Crisis. We are here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. We are also on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would prefer to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram. No Twitter for me. I deleted my Twitter years ago, or like last year. Even though my Twitter was extremely wholesome, my Twitter was literally just me. This scene from this movie was awesome. It was just me being positive about everything.
It's just not allowed on Twitter.
It's not. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Brett Dasovic for the show. Let's see, Twitter at popculture_show. Again, if you want to be on Twitter, you can follow them there.
Your business.
Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Thank you. Bye.